All right.
So,
So, hey everybody, I forgot to hit the record button.
yeah,
This
we
is
were talking already.
yeah. This is the final save cast, so I guess this is take 2. This tells you how long it's been
Hmm.
since I've done this. So we are going to be talking about E3 today.
Yes, we are.
And this is really just kind of what we're doing with Final Save Cast. It's just special events and things like that. We're not doing a weekly thing anymore. So, yeah. So we're going to get an E3. Joe was there.
I was.
I have some thoughts on it. And so far what we've talked about was, what was the name of the game?
A Way Out.
A Way Out. So we just got started with the EA stuff. So we talked, literally that's all we talked about. So we'll just continue on from there. But
Yeah,
I thought that looked like it was really cool gameplay. It was very unique, and I wanted to see more things like that with, like, you know, not only the gameplay but the way that the storytelling was taking place. I like that you can have an active, and I like the thing I don't know yet is, like, it seems like they're cutting a scene to where, like, here's the main story going on over here, but you're still interacting in this way over here.
right.
I'm wondering if, like, your outcome over here, is it causing an effect to your partner?
I have a feeling it might be because like you could be like distracting people and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
eventually, like that kind of that thing like I was talking about with like Army of Two. Like I like that idea of having that true co-op gameplay where one person is doing something that's totally different, but it is causing you to be able to do something else. I'm really looking forward to something like that. I want more games like that. Um, but as I said before we go, like one of the other games I thought was kind of cool is I liked Battlefront 2. We had some love for the prequels. I thought it looked great. Like of course the presentation for Battlefront is fantastic, and hopefully the story will be just as good. I'm really interested in where that goes. I kind of want to see like the foot soldier for the Imperials or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't remember her name, but I didn't actually realize that it was the girl who was from the League, Shiba Kamini Soba Kanda Crumb.
Yeah,
I can't
sure.
remember her real name.
But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I'm looking forward to Battlefront. I think the story mode sounds badass.
Oh yeah.
When they showed that cutaway and it was like that robot thing with Palpatine's face on it, I'm like, I am so intrigued now. I want to see what the hell this is.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's Janina Gavankar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Probably not the best dress to wear on stage where you're elevated.
Yeah, probably not, but
Yeah. Yeah.
she looked good.
Mm.
They did show Anthem, but I think Anthem was shown more later.
Yeah, it was shown at the Microsoft stuff.
Yes, but I think Anthem does look cool. I will say.
The other thing was, no, that was Bethesda. Never mind. I'm getting them all mixed up.
We'll get into Bethesda.
Yeah. So let's see. All right, I'm just trying to check your games, make sure you weren't talking about anything and I missed anything out.
No, there's nothing really in EA that
Okay.
I really got my hands on. But like I said, I wanted to play Battlefront, but it was only at the Sony booth that I could find, and they were taking only appointments for
Okay.
games. There was a couple games they actually had on the floor you could play. I think like Knack 2, but I didn't care about Knack 2. I didn't want to play that. So.
Oh, Mark Cerny's so mad. Oh. And he's like, I got that nice gentle voice. He's gonna be like, "Hey guys, Marble Madness 2 this year on Atari Box."
Oh, Atari Box. I mean, it was good knowing that Atari still existed until next year.
Look how happy Atari Force is there. They're excited. They're ready.
They are.
Atari
They're
Box.
looking right at it.
Yeah. Let's get some Atari Box, man. 3 years, Atari Box. It's the name they came up with. All right, so there's the Microsoft conference.
Was Microsoft next? Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah, they were next.
Okay, so I hate that it's the Microsoft, the Xbox One X, which is just Xbox.
Oh, it's brilliant. That is so brilliant. That's
In a
the
way
best.
it is.
That's the most
So you
brilliant
just, like,
name.
You can just be like acronym Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, they fixed the Xbone problem.
Yep, they did. And I guarantee they worked really hard at that.
It was like, oh, everybody on our team likes the power of X thing. Bullshit.
I mean, it's one of those things, and this is a little more hardware talk for us. So I think it seems like it's pretty much just another version. It's a PlayStation Pro. It's their version. It's a little bit more powerful, but it's not a huge significant jump.
I still see it. Well, it's a huge significant jump for the Xbox.
I guess it's not like the Xbox was that less powerful than the PS4, to be honest. But
1.3 teraflop to 6. Not saying that teraflops matter when it comes to 3D gaming performance. It doesn't.
At least what I can tell, it's like they up the GPU a lot, but the processor is not like a huge jump.
Well, that's to be expected. So let's just get into this now, because this has been something that's been bothering me this week. There's been so many gaming channels that have come out and just been railing on Microsoft for having their version of the Pro, but there wasn't like really a lot of that going. And I'm not saying there wasn't people that were railing on the Pro.
Right. Oh yeah.
But it seems like it was a lot more toxic this time around, and that's what people were taking away. I thought the Microsoft conference in general was one of the best ones there.
I actually agree. Yes, it was possibly the best one.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple things I want to address here that's kind of bugging me personally. One of them being it's not exclusive because it's on PC. PC is their platform.
Right, it is.
If you like it or not, it is their platform. They put a lot of money in advertisement stuff. I don't have a problem for them putting this stuff on PC. I like it, and as far as I'm concerned, they're going to get my money for some of these games that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Exactly.
So what's the problem? It just adds more choice. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
The other thing, people railing on them for not having 60 frames a second on the boxes. When you get into thermal dynamics of chips and stuff, if you want to keep it at APU, like on the PC, an APU is CPU heavy, GPU's a lot lighter because there's only so much heat you can distribute. When you get on a console, it's GPU heavy and CPU light because, once again, the only way around that is to have two separate chips, and that raises the cost of the box significantly to do that.
Right.
Because now you have two pieces of silicon on two separate wafers instead of one. So that's a whole nother thing. People bitching about it not being 60 frames a second. The CPU is just not powerful enough in a lot of cases for a lot of these games to do that. They would have to significantly rewrite engines to be able to do that, and that's a multi-million-dollar thing to do.
That's at 4K too. Like,
yeah,
the fact that they are really pushing that it's going to be solid 4K. Now, granted, the technology that PlayStation Pro is doing to get 4K is really cool. The checkerboarding.
Well, this still does that too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, there are games that are still going to do this. Yeah.
Okay. I know they were trying to push really hard to make sure it is true 4K, but yeah. So it's one of those things.
They said Assassin's
I'd be happy
Creed
to get 4K at 30.
Yeah,
with that.
They said Assassin's Creed is doing it for sure. I think there's one other game. There's going to be more games that run at native 4K than the Pro, but that's really the only difference between the two. When it comes now, some people have argued you can turn the resolution down and get 60. You still can't. If you want any proof of that, run a game at 720p on your PC if you have a PC. Run it at a really high frame rate. Run it down. Go to another resolution where you know it can reach that, and your CPU usage is exactly the same. You see, resolution of the graphics card does not determine, the CPU. There's just not enough overhead on these things because they had to keep the costs down. So if that's your problem, and that's what stop your bitching and get a goddamn PC.
Right.
That's what you want. Otherwise, I don't see a problem with all this choice. I think everything overall that they said was pretty damn good. I'm not surprised that some of these games aren't, anything but time exclusive. It's been that way for 5 fucking years now. Get over it. All right. Now that
we got that up. But as Techie Rod said, backwards compatibility is nice. Yes, they're going to be adding backwards compatibility for the original Xbox.
Yes.
Which I feel like Phil Spencer called me out directly because I normally message him at least once a month being like, give me Crimson Skies at 1080 on the Xbox One and I will buy your system.
So you're getting your system now.
I might have to be buying an Xbox One or Xbox One X.
No, you have to get it. You're the reason he put Crimson Skies on there.
I know, that's why he put it on. It is totally 100% on me. I know.
Yeah. You're dead. Poor Phil. He's just trying to be nice.
No, I mean, I'm really happy that they're doing that
Yeah.
and showing some love.
Yeah. Now to talk about the hardware also, just real quick.
I'll go for it.
Dude, fucking sexy. It's nice looking.
It is nice looking.
It is smaller than the S somehow.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how they're doing that.
It's-
It has a vapor chamber too, and it's somehow smaller.
Yeah. Well, vapor chambers aren't
I know
necessarily
they don't
thicker.
use a lot, but you think that it does add a little bit extra.
Yeah. So, and the thing is like they should tear down of it. I guess at E3,
I got a picture
they
of it. Yeah.
It looks like a 3.5-inch drive in this thing, like a full PC drive. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Is it liquid cooled? No, it's vapor chamber. So basically like the same stuff that's in heat pipes, but a vapor chamber is, instead of you having like heat pipes bent or a touching of base plate, it's the base plate is like hollow and the liquid is inside there and it radiates up through the fins and then gets cooled off. So that's what a vapor chamber is. So it keeps it cooler overall for a smaller size.
Right.
Lost my train of thought. But I like the Xbox One X. I like that it gives gamers another choice.
Yeah.
I don't see that ultimately as a bad thing at all. You know, people were saying like Xbox is in trouble, is full of shit, because I looked at the sales when this whole fiasco came up online. As of January this year, which is 4 years in, I think, they are at 28 million of January.
Yeah, that's good.
Xbox,
I mean,
Xbox 360. I'm sorry, Xbox 360 in March of 2009 was at 30. So they're pretty much neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, it's almost the same. But also, I mean, that's the thing is, too, people are looking at it like it's just because they're not selling as many as PlayStation 4. But just because they're not selling as many doesn't mean they're doing bad. They're still doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just PlayStation 4 is doing better, but that's so like they're still making tons of money off of that thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, now we got that out of the way, we can just talk about the games we saw, and that shit is put to bed. All right. So, first game came up. I'm going to put this one up that they showed was Metro,
Yes.
and I was like, "Holy fuck, is that gorgeous!"
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I love both the other Metro games. I love them to death. I actually am a big advocate. Whenever people ask me, okay, if it wasn't Nintendo making like a Metroid, who would you say? I'd be like 4A Games. 4A Games would be perfect in a new like Metroid Prime type of game, because they get that you get that feel of loneliness, but yet like the atmosphere and everything that they create is so good, so rich. I just love what they do.
Yeah, it's just like, and just the amount of like when you look at the world, it just seems so much more populated and dense in this one. The thing I'm kind of wondering is is it like way in the future, because before in Metro, like if you went outside and you didn't have your mask or anything on, you
I have
were
a feeling it
screwed
is.
up. Like this feels like this is significantly quite a few years ahead.
Well, I mean, judging what happened, I'll try and be spoiler free as much as I can on this, but basically, I mean, the way that the last game ends, you know, I can definitely see them jumping ahead a little while.
Yeah, that was cool where they burnt the spider webs away.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah. It looks far. I don't know if it's the same engine, but it looks even much better.
I'm gonna guess it. I'm gonna say it's the same engine. Probably. I mean, I'm sure they've upgraded a bit. They haven't really technically released a new game. It's been what, 4 years, 3 years, something like that.
And
last light.
And Redux is basically them refining.
That's them working on the engine.
Yeah. So yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait to play this. Weapon jams and all that fun stuff. And
punch them and chuck them.
Yeah, that's the thing that really killed me about this demo. Is like, oh, look at outside now. There's so much color.
Oh, I know, it's great.
It's just, and
they actually got an actual train going.
Yeah, that's pretty neat too. It kind of feels like it's going to be a mix of Metro with Fallout a little bit. Maybe,
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It is post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. So yeah.
But with monsters, well, like I say, I had monsters before too.
Yeah.
Aliens.
But I thought that looked really cool.
Yeah, it's so pretty. We take off the mask and everything.
So what was the next game that's at the Xbox conference? One that stuck out to me was Crackdown.
Crackdown did look cool. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel weird on it because we've been hearing about Crackdown 3 now for 4 years or whatever. We thought it'd be out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. I like the Terry Crews' introduction of it.
I mean, it didn't get any better than Terry Crews. Come on.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Woo!
I did notice though, there's not as much building destruction now. All of a sudden.
Yeah, because the cloud. It's just not.
Yeah,
it's just not up there yet.
It's just not cloudy enough yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was California. There's not many clouds.
Yeah. And then when it clouds up and then it rains and then your Xbox is fucked. So
yeah,
that's how that works, right?
Then again, it seemed like they were showing off more single player, and I think the cloud stuff was more for multiplayer.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Well, back when they were talking about, they're like, all the processing of the physics in the game will be taken care of a server.
Which I can see, like I said, I could see that working in a multiplayer, like on the server, for that kind of stuff. But for single player, it's dumb.
Agreed. All right, let's see what else was shown off. Anything stick out in your mind?
Well, I did show off Sea of Thieves, and this I did not actually play myself, but Steve did. They cut me out of the line, and Steve's like, "No, I'm getting in." So he was the last person in the line before they cut it off.
Of course.
But, yeah, I was fine with that because he is a pirate. He loved it to death, but also it was mostly because it. Kind of trying to use his words. It showed off a lot of the actual co-opness of it. Like they actually had it set up with it was a couple different teams. I think there was like 3 or 4 teams in this world like area they had.
Yeah. And
they were commanding a ship or whatever, and like they had you like in rows, and they were actually trying to like take over certain things or whatever. And like he told me like their team actually found like the sunken ship like you're showing or whatever, and they went down. But the thing is, they all were like, "Oh, sunken ship!" So they all jumped in. And they left their boat by itself up there, and when they got back up there, there was the other team was up there trying to take their shit. So so they had to like fight them off and everything. But like they actually, their team got so into it, like they actually put like they gave out like eye patches and stuff, and like they all put their eye patches on to play it. And they had like one guy actually from like Microsoft or Rare or whatever, actually one of the developers, like helping them get through the game. Yeah. And they're like, hey, what is the other team doing? Like they're like, we need to find out what they're doing. Hey, why don't you sneak over there to the other side of the booth and go see what they're doing? And like he actually got up and then like went over there to see what they were doing, where they were at while they're like looking for their ships. And they're like, oh crap, they're heading for our ship. We need to go up. But like,
so they endorsed cheating.
Yeah, they did there at least. But like, I know the water. Yeah, the water effects are gorgeous for that game. Yeah. Like I like how it's like cartoony feel, but like the water is some of the best water I've seen.
It's funny because it's Rare, right? It literally looks like the same art design as Grabbed by the Goalies.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, it does. It's just like, but the thing that killed me is like everybody, like immediately as soon as they showed Skull and Bones, it was like, oh, that makes Sea of Thieves irrelevant now. I'm like, how?
It
like
really
we haven't seen anything about Skull and Bones yet.
Yeah, we really don't. And also from what I've seen, we'll do this comparison now or whatever. From Skull and Bones, I feel like it is just, this is more about you and your crew.
Yeah.
And where Skull and Bones is kind of more of like your fleet. So it's a little bit different. And also they're taking a lot of, it pretty much is like, hey, we're not going to be in the Caribbean or whatever in the ship age anymore in Assassin's Creed. Let's make a game out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Skull and Bones is, where this is more exploratory. It's your crew. You're actually going pirating, and
plus the other thing to be said is this is out this year,
and also this is out this year. Yes.
Yeah. So.
And it'll be PC and Xbox.
Yeah. So we'll have to get it and play it together. It'd be pretty fun.
It'll be classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a unique style to it. I like the cartooniness to it. And they actually had like a band too, play like accordion and everything at the booth. It was really cool.
I forgot about that, where you can launch people out of cannons.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Like it kind of feels that like Monkey Island vibe that I kind of want.
Yeah.
Like I love that style too. Like as I think Steve said, as a pirate fan, he's fine with both. He wants both. You know, it's the cartoony lore silly style of the pirates,
Yeah.
and then there's a little bit more serious version. And,
It's the nature of E3. Everybody
Yeah.
comes in you going in here expecting a fight, and it's just like
Right.
not everything has to win or lose. Things can coexist and stuff. And I think this is going to have its audience, and I think the other one's going to have its audience when it comes out.
Yeah, they're a lot different. The only thing
Yeah.
is that pirate game. Everything else is totally different games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This looks fun to me.
Yeah, it does. Looks like a blast.
All right. Anything else that you can think of?
Well, they showed off Anthem, and I did like. I actually thought the co-opness of it is looking good, but also that game just looked gorgeous, and the flying around and everything. I want to get my hands on it because I want to see how the flying feels. But from what they showed, it looked really fluid. And if they could do that with the jetpacks and everything, I will be super happy. I need more jetpack games in my life.
Yeah. So for me, they showed this one off. Ori 2.
Oh yeah, Ori 2.
Ori 2 actually looks better to me.
Yeah, it does.
It seems like there's like more planes of animation or something going on.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like the only thing. That's why at first I was like, I think it's Ori, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot more detailed than the last game was for sure. I can't tell if it's like they have 3D models going on with like
it looks like a little bit of 3D.
It just looks like that frog that got part and like some of these characters and stuff. It's like they're using like real oil paintings, but then they're scanning it in, and it's like super high resolution textures that were oil painted or something.
Like, it kind of reminds me if you took Ori and mixed it a little bit of the graphic style from like Trine.
Yeah, exactly. It shocked me that was it because I was like looking at it, I was like, this can't be Ori because it looks too good.
Yeah, it does look amazing.
Yeah,
that's why I had the same thought because they said it was like a franchise. I'm like, the only franchise I know of that this could possibly fit is Ori, but I'm not sure if it is.
Yeah. We can watch a girl cry about Will of the Wisps trailer. I mean, come on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The other one that I don't have much to say about, I'm looking forward to it, is they finally announced that Cuphead's coming this September. And I was like, yes. And that's another one people got upset about. But they went from like that being boss battles to like full on levels and everything, and like everything in that is strictly animation style, like the 1930s.
Yeah, I know. They were saying like they're saying like some of like the actual animations are like 130 frames. For animations, like, oh god, it looks so good though. They put so much time and hard work into it. It's fantastic.
And the music is spot on. The music is perfect. Yeah, it's just so good.
It's so jolly.
Yeah. All right. So I'm done with Metro. I'm done with Ori.
Was there anything else at Microsoft? I can't think of anything else.
You know what else was there? Now that I think about it, this is the one that popped out to me the most.
Oh,
now,
really?
Have you seen this? The Last Night.
Oh, of course. The Last Night. That's right. They showed it there first.
Yeah.
Yes, The Last Night looks amazing.
Like, at first it was like Paris on fire, and then all of a sudden it turned into like Blade Runner or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, it is so cyberpunk. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, this looks great.
Yeah, it's... The thing is somebody's game... I mean, this is how... kind of coming out of E3, a lot of this stuff is kind of like the impact visually it does on you. But that idea, like when you first see it and like, whoa, look at these graphics. And this actually, it looks really, really cool. And then they show the character and stuff and with pixel art. And I'm like, oh my god. And you actually see the lighting actually onto the pixel art too. And it's just so, like, I love that mix of old school gaming techniques with the new school. I mean, just the... As we are, like, people who've been playing video games for so long, it's like, give me more of this. This is such a tribute and showing the love for video games from where it was and where it is now. Yeah.
I love it because, and the thing that kind of made me mad is, like, as soon as I said I like this, I got a couple of people that be, oh, it's pixels. It's like what everybody that does indie games does.
Right.
Oh, okay. Have you seen pixels like that before?
Right. I mean... Oh, well. I mean, but do you look at the environments? The environments have, like, it's so much subsurface scatter. I don't understand.
Yeah. How do you subsurface scatter a pixel person?
Right. I don't know. Well, I mean, I think this was actually at the PC Gamer Show, but, like, the actual guy was out, and he said, like, this game is part of his love of video games, but also his, like, being an animator and modern rendering techniques, he wanted to mix the two together, and I think this guy hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, just all the real-time reflections off the water and the puddles and everything. It's just so good.
Yeah, it really it stuck out in my mind as the most unique looking game to me this year.
Yeah.
Out of anything else.
Vega and SD Heil.
Yeah. Heil.
Is that weird?
Heil. Heil. Don't do that. He might be German.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So is that it for Microsoft, I think?
I mean, maybe. I mean, they, like I said, they possibly might have been the best one. They had so much stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss-up between that or Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
It is. Was Ubisoft next? Who was next?
Yeah, Ubisoft would have been next.
Right. Well, the thing is with Ubisoft, and let's just get it out. I think their main thing was it was Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think that's the thing that saved them. If they didn't have that, I don't think we'd be thinking about it as highly.
Really? Because that's not the thing I think about right off the top of my head. I know a lot of people
that you think
are looking... Dude, honestly, that Mario game blew my fucking mind.
Really? I
Yes.
mean, it looks. I don't hate it. I will tell you that it doesn't. It doesn't look bad.
I'm so happy that not only did they get to put rabbits in it and stuff,
It looks so.
but it just looks silly as fuck. But the thing that's really cool about it is like they specifically said, "Don't do what we do," and he's like, "Well, what could we do?" And all of a sudden they turned it into like XCOM Mario, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I know the little blasters and everything. Yeah, it looks like that. Did you see anywhere of them explaining what the hell that little vacuum thing was in the front, though? I mean, I know it's like the thing that kind of points you in the right direction, but I don't know what. There has to be a point. There has to be some kind of continuity in that world of what that thing is, and it's bugging me.
It's the pointer thing that leads everybody because you don't have a mouse and keyboard.
Even so, you can just put little like, you know, UI icons or something. Like you don't have to have a walking vacuum with rabbit ears.
I don't know. It's Nintendo. It doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It's
You know,
Nintendo.
it's mostly Ubisoft that did it. But
yeah.
No, it looked really cool. I'm definitely curious to see a lot more of it and like how they actually unravel the story and whatnot. But
yeah,
rabbits dressed up as Mario characters is.
It doesn't need a story. It looks fantastic.
I mean, it doesn't have to have like a. It has to have. Doesn't have to have a great story or anything. It just has to have. Just give me a little bit of context and I'll be happy. That's all I need.
I love that the Princess Peach rabbit is like selfie crazy.
Yeah.
And she was like jumping in the air, like taking selfies and stuff.
Right. I think, yeah, she got grabbed or whatever by like the rabbit Donkey Kong or whatever. And like as it's being grabbed, took a selfie.
Yeah, she's like selfie. It's like, I don't care. It just looks, to me, it just looks fun. It gives me another reason to want to pick up a Switch. Which there wasn't very many, so that's good.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And to be honest, it's just like to me, I don't care what the story is. That the rabid characters are fun in games. Just to like, to me, it kind of felt like almost like this is almost kind of like a Shrek for me. I'm an adult, but I can still enjoy the humor there. You know, it's like it's kind of one of those things. So that looked really fun to me. That really grabbed me like right off the bat. Let's see, Skull and Bones. We talked about that.
Right.
What else is there?
I mean, there was Far Cry 5, which you got to see more of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that they're adding more characters or whatever. And they actually like it. The thing is, I thought about this too. Was like when they first showed Far Cry 5, it seemed like it was gonna be really serious, kind of along the lines of the other ones. But then they showed these characters and like them interacting together. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And I think I was standing in line to see like Hideo Kojima or something or whatever, and like guys, I was just talking about Far Cry 5. I'm like, they've just given me what I want. I'm like, I just want to go to Montana and kill some people. And it's like, yeah, what else can you ask for? Exactly. I just want to do that. I just want to have fun killing people in Montana.
I know when I was in Montana, I was about ready to, because it takes a really long time to get through.
Oh, it's a gigantic state.
And there's nothing to look at.
You know, it does seem like a lot more Far Cry, but I mean, I like the setting and the theme behind it with the radical like church people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Far Cry 3 was like one of my favorite games, so I'm always down for Far Cry.
Really good. I like Far Cry 4 as well.
Yeah, I still haven't played it, so that's like one of those things.
Really?
I'm like sitting there going like, well, I haven't gotten
Right.
around to Far Cry 4, so
Yeah.
cool. This will be $20 when I'm ready.
Right. Exactly. I definitely recommend playing Fallout 4 or not Fallout 4, Far Cry 4. My bad.
I gotta play
Not
that
Fallout
too.
4. Don't. I mean, if you
Would
want
you-
to go ahead, but no, I wouldn't recommend Fallout 4.
Okay, well, too bad because I own everything for it already.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and then of course Beyond Good and Evil 2. I feel like we're missing some things there. Fractured
Yeah,
Butthole
but-
was there.
Yeah. Which I saw they were doing a more like grid-based system for that game this time.
Yeah.
Which, okay, cool. Other than that,
Yeah.
more of that. I'm just glad they didn't have Matt and Trey come out. I'm sure they're tired of doing that.
Yeah. The phone game looked funny.
Oh yes,
It was like literally called like South Park Phone Destroyer or something like that.
yeah, it's something really. But I was like, how much you want to bet that game's out before Fractured Butthole?
Probably pretty good odds on that one.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it was Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I mean, it looked good.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
It was a CG trailer. The thing is about it is, it was a really good trailer and everything, but we've had a CG trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2 already.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Well, we had real gameplay too, and that just went nowhere.
Right, so I am not holding my breath on this. I'm sure this time it's going to come out, but I'm as sure as maybe 60%. There's still that 40% of me. It's like, we've been burned before. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. Because Beyond Good and Evil 2 it's one of those cult classics, but I don't know if it really is as popular. It's popular among the gamers, but like the core, I hate to use that term, but like the people who play video games all the damn time.
It's like Psychonauts.
Yeah. So for it to get the huge Ubisoft budget, we'll see where that goes. I don't know how well it'll do after that. But then again, we might be surprised.
Then again, we get Shenmue, so.
Which I was surprised no Shenmue.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll get to that one because that'll probably make some people angry.
Okay.
So, where was my train of thought? I mean, Beyond Good and Evil is good. I like it when people do get the cult classics kind of service. I think it was probably also because it felt very much like at that conference, like it seemed like it was a labor of love of something a lot of people at Ubisoft wanted to do. Almost like Mirror's Edge was a couple years ago to DICE. DICE really wanted to go back to that universe and make another game in it. And just kept pestering EA until they're like, fine, make your fucking game. Just leave us alone. Give us Battlefield. God damn it.
Right. Yeah, actually, it's funny because I actually talked to a guy who I know who works at Ubisoft, and I'm like, so did you actually know about... He didn't work on Beyond Good and Evil, but he works in the other thing. I'm like, did you know about it? He's like... Kind of. He's like, I asked him about it because he's like, I thought I came across something or whatever, and he was like, hey, so are you doing this? And they're like, we can't tell you. And he's like, oh, okay, so you are.
Yeah, yeah, it's usually how a conversation goes.
Yeah. So I thought he's like, but he didn't officially know about it until the conference. But
it's like, if it's no, it's just like straight. It's always like a straight up no. If it's like yes, it's like
they straight up said no. Beyond Good and Evil 2 would not be at E3. I forget who it was at Ubisoft said that on Twitter. Like a week before E3 came out, they're like, "No, Beyond Good and Evil 2."
I'm not mad because Sony lied once, and that was like one of the best surprises. So
I know I love it when they lie. To be honest,
it's like go ahead and lie. It's fine. It's like it makes me happier later on.
I don't know how I feel about it being a prequel though.
It feels like it's kind of a cop out, so they don't have to tie it to anything,
right?
In a way. So
I have a feeling that might have been the biggest problem too. Maybe they're running into like tying it all together. I don't know. I mean, this is speculation, but
there's a lot of things I just don't enjoy that they did talk about. They're talking about like they're going to go back to the roots of like why there's these animal companions and all this in this universe. And it's just like, guys. Like, most people don't care about how the universe got the way it is. They just want to be in that universe and just tell a good story. And that might ruin it, honestly. Yeah.
How can I put it with that? Because I am a person who actually does care about that. But it doesn't always have to be the focus. It's more, give that to me, if I really delve into the game type of deal. but don't make that the main focus for everybody, so they're kind of turned off. You know, have your main story that you're focused on, and this, if you come across these things, it'll help explain that. You know, I think Elder Scrolls does a really good job about that, because there's all the books and the side quests that kind of explain the world, everything a lot more. But mainly, you're fighting dragons and you're, you know, trying to save the Imperials or the Stormborn, and that's really all you care about.
Yeah. So, sure, I guess it looked good. Mario is a real game that I know it's coming out, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, so now I'm kind of foggy on what order everything was in.
I believe Bethesda was next.
Bethesda, Wolfenstein 2.
Wolfenstein 2 was, of course, yeah. I tried to get into that line, but it was forever to play that. But no, Wolfenstein 2 does look fantastic. I thought the trailer. I did think the trailer had some weird pacing in it, but you're just going through the.
I just skipped past that beginning part. Screw that.
Yeah. But I liked the beginning part. I thought it was funny.
Sure.
It was just silly, kind of that.
Yeah.
You know, that old style TV show, but with, you know, a little bit more Nazi in it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited this time. It seems like you're going back to America. I noticed some things here, like look up here, for instance, on the trailer. You notice that's the same monitor it's in Fallout.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Yeah, and it kind of makes,
it's definitely a lot of influence from. That was what I was saying. A lot of influence from Fallout.
I'm just waiting for them to be like, hey, you know what?
They probably use some of the assets.
They probably use some of the assets. I'm just waiting for Bethesda one day to go like, here's our game that's going to link Wolfenstein and Fallout and Doom all together.
And Skyrim.
All together. Yeah. Okay.
There actually is a rumor about that with Bethesda's new game Starfields. That's the running thing because they trademarked it. That it'll actually link, because it'll take place after Fallout. But because technically Skyrim takes place on Elder Scrolls takes place on a planet, it'll actually connect the two together. I'm like, whoa, that would be crazy. I don't want them to do that.
Yeah.
But in the same way, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would be funny. It'd just be kind of a neat thing, because it's not like there hasn't been stupid ideas with linking Ace Combat to Dig Dug.
Yeah, that does exist.
Yeah.
Because it's the same company that's in Ace Combat 3 that's running everything is actually the same company that Dig Dug works for.
Dude, I don't care that they actually wrote canon to link Dig Dug and Pac-Man to Ace Combat.
I don't think Pac-Man's in that canon, but I believe Galaga is, though, in that canon.
Ace Combat Galaga. It'll just be one of like spaceships, and it just keeps on making the same noises like the arcade game.
I love the characters that they showed off though for Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
I'm hope we have a lot more interaction with different people, and also, I mean, BJ's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it when they're pointing the gun at him or whatever, and he's like, "Oh fuck this!" And he just puts the helmet on, and they try to shoot. It's like, see.
The other thing that was really cool is the ending, though.
Oh yeah.
The ending was the best. Where there's
the acid trip.
Yeah. Where is it?
LSD or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's so cool because you actually I'm curious to see if that's just like a one-off thing in the game or if that's actually part of the game, because graphically I thought it was so cool because it's like this little cartoon thing, but it was actually rendering like light coming off of it onto the characters and stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. This is obviously using the new Doom engine, the Tech 6. So
6, yeah. Yeah, but the light coming off of, that's cool.
Yeah, so I can't wait to play that. I actually really enjoyed New Order. I actually enjoyed the New Blood a lot too.
Oh, New Blood's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Or wait, Old Blood. Old Blood. New Order.
Whatever. Wolfenstein. It's weird that they're calling
Colossus.
It's weird that they're calling it Wolfenstein 2, saying that this is Wolfenstein: The New Order was actually a sequel to the Wolfenstein game.
It is technically, yes.
Yeah. So
it is actually connected, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a loose connection, but I believe it's just like one of the doctors or something.
Yeah.
Is the other one?
Well, no.
This is BJ's story because it wasn't BJ.
And the other thing too is they try to connect with the original Wolfenstein 3D. Like they actually kind of make references here and there every once in a while in Wolfenstein. If you look at some of the docs and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
that actually like reference like Cyber Hitler or whatever he was called, Mecha Hitler or something.
Like a Hitler, yeah.
So like that is actually supposed to be like canon in this still. So speaking of weird canon,
Yeah.
yeah, but Wolfenstein looks good. I want to play another one of that. It was every bit as good to me as Doom was. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
I really liked the Old Blood too, where like every level had a bed that you could find to go to like an old Wolfenstein level. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
All right, so is that pretty much it for Oh, the other thing was Dishonored DLC. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that looked cool.
I thought that was cool. They had DLC that was linking a sequel to the old DLC.
Right.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was neat. What else did they have? Oh, Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool trailer. Appreciate the art.
Yeah.
But I like that too because I guess the whole like the milkiness or whatever, the liquid or whatever, kind of was not something really shown off before because it actually has to do with like the ending of Evil Within 2 or Evil Within 1. But they're like going full bore with that, not because it's all like kind of in his mind type stuff. But they're totally going into that. But I think it looks crazy. I think a lot of the characters and monsters or whatever that they showed off look really cool.
That once again looked like that got the id Tech 6 treatment this time around too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
My only thing with Bethesda, like, they showed off a little bit of the VR too. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that. I didn't really care.
If it's actually the full gameplay of Skyrim and Fallout, that's an amazing value for somebody that has VR.
Yeah, agreed.
Do I want to play that again?
Work.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want to play it again in VR.
Right. That's my only problem was like, if you haven't played it before or you didn't get that far or whatever, that's awesome. But for me, I don't want to go back to Skyrim every time. Because, okay, let's just talk about that for a second. Skyrim showed up, what, like 3 times during these press conferences?
Yeah.
Okay, in 2011 when this game came out, I didn't think that in freaking 2017 E3, I'd still be seeing goddamn Skyrim everywhere. Like, I love that game to death, but it has been so oversaturated. I know it's possibly the greatest RPG of all time, but oh god, we get it already.
It's the problem that there's been that these games take such a long time to develop that you have nothing for years on time. And maybe instead of like, and then the other thing is like you double back and you make a lesser game like Wolfenstein or Doom, and that's great, but it just takes so much more time to make a world like Skyrim or like Fallout compared to those that you have like 3 iterations. So that team's just like re-releasing versions of the same game over and over again. It's kind of dumb. Like, it would be nice if they doubled down on even like smaller experiences or something, or just like, I don't know, maybe it's time just to admit to yourself to hire a team of like smaller guys to make maybe like small indie stuff. Like, I don't know, just make a Wolfenstein game that's like the old one on Apple II or something like that.
I actually made a prediction. I was wrong, but this was more just a hoping for Bethesda because of this, that they were actually going to hire on or at least start publishing a couple like indie games to kind of fill in that gap.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I didn't see that. But okay, but the thing with Skyrim, I thought would be cool because they keep talking about like re-releasing it and whatever. I thought would be awesome. Why don't you guys make a new DLC for it?
Yeah.
You know how big our minds would be blown. Like, we wouldn't have like this whole talk. I wouldn't care anymore because it'd be like, hey, now I have a reason to go back into Skyrim 6 years later.
Here's a better one for you. People in the community have been working on Skywind for how long now?
Oh, yeah.
Give them money.
Yeah,
give them money. Let them finish it and release it as DLC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just this year.
We talked about that too with the the creation kit thing or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I looked. They're kind of wording it in a way to make it sound like it's not paid mods, but it sounded like paid mods.
It sounded like paid mods.
And they're gonna get shit on again. It's not gonna go over well.
Yeah, they just don't have Valve involved in it this time. And it seems like they're gonna take the brunt again. So, yeah, and that's just never gonna be a good situation on PC. That's like saying all of a sudden we're going to start putting Xbox Live and charging you $60 a year on a PC, and people's going to be like, no, you're not. Yeah. So
Find ways around it. But Bethesda, what did you think overall of Bethesda? I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours first.
definitely not as good as last year.
No.
Wolfenstein looked good.
Mm.
I actually won a bet because of that
you
conference. I just had a feeling that they're going to show something about Wolfenstein 2 this year because it had been so many years and whatnot.
Right.
And I made it. And so we play H1Z1 every once in a while. And I have one friend, Crafty, that just loves lammies. You know, he loves to get armor in it. So he's like, I'll bet you 3 lammies they don't have it this year. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take that bet 3 the other way around. I was like thinking,
that was a dumb bet.
I thought there was pretty good odds of it being there. So
yeah. Like if you asked me, I'd be like, you have like a 90% chance it's gonna be there.
So
it is like the only thing that hasn't come out in a little while that they could possibly be working on.
He claims to have insider information. It's it's not insider information. I just know how long a development of a certain type of game takes.
Right. Yeah. My main problem was just the length and how the pacing and everything of the conference. I thought the idea of just, and this is where we might differ. I don't know. And Sony suffered from this too. Of you just come out and you show the games and then you move on. And like, I thought, especially if you know you're going to be a little bit on the shorter end, where it was only what 24 minutes, maybe a half hour. Like, let a developer come out and tell you about it a little bit or something. Just give me a little bit more, to it. Because that's part of the thing I love about E3 from just watching trailers. You actually have developer insight. They can come in and kind of give you, hey, this is where we're going to go with Wolfenstein 2, possibly. Or, hey, this is what I am trying to strive for Evil Within 2. Just anything like that. I kind of like that, especially, again, like if you know you're going to have an hour and a half of that many games or whatever, that's fine. I'll forgive you. But if you know you're only going to be a half hour, come on. Let them come out and talk for 2-3 minutes. To pad that time a little bit more. Give me a little bit of time. But, whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was some of that here and there. Like the Microsoft conference, once again, that game.
Microsoft had it, yeah.
They had a developer out there, and he seemed really passionate about it and whatnot. But, and PC Gamer Show is built all around that. Now, you're absolutely right that you and I don't see different. You're a developer anyways, to a certain extent. So that's your point of view. From my point of view, it is very much is like, no, I just want to see the games, get off the stage, let's go, hurry up.
Well, I feel like if you're watching E3 though, I mean, you kind of have a certain. If you're actually watching the conferences and not just waiting for the trailers to come out, you have a certain type of care. Like these people are. They're your directors. They're your stars of the video game industry, and you kind of want to see them.
Yes and no. Like I don't mind them presenting their games, but it's like I feel
come out and just present. Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking for them to
like
the old way that PC Gamer did it, like where they actually felt more like a talk show. Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah.
But like just having them come out and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is this game. Here, enjoy. Just something short to the point. I love that.
Yeah, and I don't mind that there's context in the game. I just feel like GDC is the place for that, if that makes any sense.
Well, GDC is longer, and it's not press conferencey.
It's not press conferencey, but somebody could go and cover that and then talk to these guys there. I feel like that's much more of a venue where that should be kind of covered, where E3...
But E3, I mean, it's still a show. I want to see the stage, the presence.
Right, but... That's not good.
Otherwise, I'm just watching trailers, and it's like watching a stream of like.
Right, but that's not get confused about E3's origins either. E3 was always meant to be a place for suits for different companies like Walmart and stuff to go to see if they wanted to support or buy the game. And these guys aren't going to give a fuck about that either. They're just going to want to. And then all of a sudden they just invite a press. It's becoming something a little different now because they're inviting
it's evolving.
people.
Yeah,
it's evolving, but. Just me personally, I want to go see the games, hang out, see the booths or something like that. I don't want to. If I want to talk to the developer, it'd be nice if I could just go to the booth and talk to them or something like that.
Most of them actually were at the booth. Which is cool.
Yeah. So that I would rather have. But when it comes to like televising something like that, if I want to see that, I think GDC is a better place for it. It seems to be more geared towards that, anyways.
I agree with you to a point. I just think that having a little bit of showing them off, having the people work there, just hey, this is what this is. Short and sweet.
I think I agree with you when it comes to games where the trailer doesn't do a good job explaining it itself.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for reveal trailers, of course, because you want that suspense. But
yeah,
you know,
like I would love if Kojima would come out and tell me what the fuck his new game is about.
yeah, I would love that too, because it looks cool, but I don't know what the hell the game is.
I don't even know if it looks cool. I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited. I don't know what the hell the damn thing is. Like, people are like, do you care about the new Kojima game? No, I don't know what the fuck it is. There's like octopuses on tanks, and there's Mads Mikkelsen half dead, and there's a baby in a container.
I know.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm intrigued, at least. Maybe that was more the proper word, because I don't know what the hell that game is. But
but intrigue doesn't do it for me personally, because I'm like, oh, whatever that is, and then I dump it out of my brain like a half hour later. You know, it's like,
oh. I know. I thought this was hilarious, and I don't know why it didn't click in my head that this might be a possibility. Did you watch the Devolver Digital's press conference?
I saw the last half where people's heads exploded and stuff.
Oh man, it was so funny because they were. I thought because they do not get along with the ESA at all.
No.
I actually saw they had a little parking lot like outside, like set up for their booths, or whatever, because they're not allowed at E3 anymore. So, but their press conference was just totally a shit show, but it was so like meta. It was like making fun of.
It was Devolver Digital style, 100%.
100%. Hey, look at this. This is our advertisement for you guys, okay? And you're gonna love it. And like they just had like stock footage of people like laughing and like eating popcorn and watching. It was so funny. But they only showed like 2 games in it. Like, but it was just it was totally like fuck you to it. And even though I went there and I love E3, at the same time I do appreciate that. Like, it is a giant advertisement. It really is. Yeah. But it's fun. So,
yeah, and the thing I liked about it is they went on about, it wasn't just E3, they went on about a couple other things. Like, they were talking about that one game that they're going to be releasing a little bit early access, and they're like, we have a new thing.
Pre-early access.
Yeah, pre-early access. The game will be even more broken when you buy it.
Right.
And it's just like, best E3, I think I said on Twitter, like, best E3 conference, everybody dies.
Yep. Everybody's head explodes. I like how the one guy, like, he got, like, his hand caught or whatever, and he was, like, covered in blood, and then he came out later, and he was still covered in blood. Oh.
Yeah, I have a, like, here's the thing, I don't like that, I'm not, like, trying to find people that are anarchists of any kind or anything like that. It's just Devolver Digital doesn't put up with people's shit. They haven't for a long time. They tend to release a shit ton of games I really like. It seems like they understand gamers better than a lot of the other companies out there. Some of their movies are actually pretty good. I've watched a couple other things about the gaming industry and stuff that was done very, very well. But overall, the thing that really kills me is like another one is like Indie Mega Booth couldn't get into E3. They're like, you know what, just come down and hang out with us. I guess Indie Mega Booth was actually there at their site.
Yeah, they had their own thing. EA had their own thing as well.
Yeah. And I was watching Giant Bomb, and the lady who runs Indie Mega Booth says it's awesome because they're just like, yeah, just show up and like just set up your stuff, and then it's just like they just hang out and drink beers. And that's their E3 experience. Right. Where everybody else is just running around trying to get like sales and stuff done, and Devolver's like, hey, we're here. If you want to see what we have, that's cool, but you know what, we're producing it, so we don't really need you. This is really more for these people to check out. You go in and have your fun with the suit meetings and stuff and decide if you're gonna bring, you know, Forza to Walmart or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Forza did look cool.
Yeah, Forza did look cool. And it's on PC, so I'm happy. Yep. More choices. All right.
I think that was everything for Sunday. So it was Monday.
PlayStation,
yeah. Something else, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Well,
I
PlayStation. I thought they showed off a lot of cool games. But I mean, a lot of it was what we already knew about. I think they blew. I think this was their weakest year in a while, though. I think they blew their load a little bit too early with Shadow of Colossus remake. I think they should have saved that for the end.
See, I honestly didn't care. It was like, oh, this is Shadow of the Colossus, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm more just saying if I'm kind of the same way with that, but I'm just saying from like an overall like thing of how they planned out their press conference, because I forget what was the last. I don't even remember what the last thing was they showed, but like I felt like that reveal would have been a bigger deal if they shaved it for the end.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man, yeah. Which I know a lot of people are creaming their jeans over. I didn't think it actually looked that good.
I originally thought it was Sucker Punch. Apparently, it's Insomniac.
Oh, it's Insomniac, yeah.
So
Sucker Punch was not there.
Yeah, and Sucker Punch, what are they doing? Are they getting ready to close them down or what? Like, why are they not working on Spider-Man?
Or maybe Sucker Punch is working on something else crazy. I don't know.
I know they got downsized. And, like, that makes me kind of sad because Infamous is some of the best games that ever came out on PlayStation system.
Great. Sly Cooper is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on, guys. Give Sucker Punch Spider-Man. Why the hell you give it to
Insomniac, which you don't even own.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not saying Insomniac's not good. I just don't think they're as good as a studio as Sucker Punch is, personally.
Possibly, yeah. But I don't know. It just felt like a little more clunky Batman from what I was watching. I don't know.
I got that vibe. Yeah.
But and also a lot of QuickTime events. Yeah. I'm one like if they tell me yes, you actually control the swinging after the helicopter or whatever, and that's not just a QuickTime event or something, I'd be like, okay, I'm sold. But it looked like it was still a QuickTime event.
Yeah.
And also, I thought the animations, I don't know, they just felt stiff a little bit more than other stuff. I don't know, they looked. Let me rephrase it. They looked fluid until they went to the next animation.
Yeah. It just cut all of a sudden.
Yeah, I would just stop.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it looked like it was on the same production value as a Batman game, if that makes any sense. Counting out,
that's not a bad thing, but
counting out Arkham Knight, because Arkham Knight was kind of on another level, but like the older Batman games, you know.
Right.
So,
like Origins.
Yeah, Origins and stuff like that. It just, I don't know. I mean, it didn't seem like it was not fun. It just seemed like if the term status quo.
Yeah, it was. It feels like, hey, this is what we need to do to make this game.
Yeah, it's like we're watching what all the other superhero games are doing, and now we put it into ours.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Yeah. So I wasn't like, after watching, I was like, there's a couple instances here where it's cool. I like the thing that you threw out on the wall and it sucked a guy in.
Yeah, that was cool.
It is the cooler version of Spider-Man. It's more gadget heavy. I'll give him that, but it wasn't like a system seller to me at all.
I agree. I don't think.
And I don't know if you felt the same way, but after watching God of War, I kind of started feeling the same way about that too.
Ooh, I actually felt the opposite on God of War. I actually think my hype level went up for God of War after that trailer. Yeah. And I think it's more just because it showed me a little bit of a mix of what I love about God of War, but going in that different direction. Like, you still get to rip people apart, but it had a little more feeling and depth to it. And like some of the, and just watching the trailer and everything, some of the facial animations and everything they showed, like, Kratos, he looks tired, he's old, he just wanted to get away from all this, and he's getting brought back in. But also that, I love how they brought the trailer around from like at the beginning where he tells the boy that, people aren't here to help you, or whatever, and then at the end they bring the big serpent monster, is like, oh, he wants to help. It's like, it kind of bringing it around and maybe changing Kratos a little bit, but still gonna be ripping people apart.
Yeah, to me, okay, I agree with you. First of all, I want to say Mike Judd playing Kratos now, who was Teal'c in Stargate.
Okay.
He's the voice of Kratos now. It's
okay.
Like, okay, fucking awesome. Great.
But also that shot with Kratos, though, like when he sees the vase with him on it, I'm like, oh.
That was pretty good harking back, and it felt like it was, if I had to guess, I would guess that was Loki talking.
I think so as well. That's my guess, but I don't know.
Just because the throne room had a bunch of treasures and,
I mean, it seems like it's Loki,
Yeah, it seemed like it was Loki to me. I'm just guessing anyways. But to me, I'm hoping to see more character development than I think there is. To me, it's almost predictable. It feels like, okay, Kratos has a kid now, so he needs to learn how to calm down. And so they could just call this God of War anger management. It's coming off a little bit too transparent for me, and I hope there's more meat to it. The combat seems a little different, but it only seems different because the weapon is different.
Right. Yeah, the weapon's different. It seems to be a little more over the shoulder
Yeah,
than it was before.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just not sold on it yet.
I don't know if I reached that level of sold,
Yeah,
but I'm getting close.
yeah.
It looks really cool. Like if I have a PS4 and everything, I might pick it up. I mean, I think it looks great. I mean, graphically, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's a good. I think we're moving in the right direction at least for God of War to make it keep it being interesting.
Did we have a God of War thing?
What?
I guess we didn't. Okay, I didn't know if we had a God of War thing.
No.
All right. And I closed the game, and I don't know what it was.
What else was that? Sony. I really can't think of anything else they showed. There was Days Gone, but I still don't.
I don't
Days
care
Gone
about that game.
It looked a little bit better than I originally saw it because it looked like more interaction with people and not just zombies. But I still don't care about that game.
It's just I think we're coming from about the same place. Maybe it's there's a lot of people hyped for it, and there's people just crazy about zombie crap, and that's fine. I'm happy that you are, and it's not that I don't like zombies.
Oh, I hate zombies, so I'm on that.
Okay, but I'm so done with zombies. I'm so just done.
I was done with zombies in 1999.
Yeah. it's just yeah, I can't like the game. Like, it looks interesting and stuff, but it looks like, would it be fair to say this looks like a budget Last of Us?
Yeah, kind of.
So, okay, Days Gone from now on will be called Budget Last of Us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually skipped one was Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh shit, yeah, that looked great.
It actually did look really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the setting. That is something I will give Assassin's Creed. Mm-hmm. Every single game has an awesome setting.
Yeah.
I love going back to Egypt, but also I kind of was just shocked when I saw him actually diving into the river and actually swimming down. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. The other thing is, they got rid of towers.
Yeah.
You have a drone. You have a drone now.
Yeah, you have a Falcon, right?
Yeah. They're opening up more RPG elements to it. Mm-hmm. They are significantly overhauling Assassin's Creed from the look of it to me. Which
it still seems like it has the look and feel of it, but pretty much everything that we bitched and complained about, they are overhauling.
Yeah. And I saw an interview. They said they're finally changing the combat, combat control. It sounds like it'll be more like Batman now style.
Good. Even though it wasn't that far from Batman.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they're gonna go a little bit more in that direction. Because that direction, I'm honestly, for this style of game, I can't think of a better game than Batman. The way the combat works.
It was a combination of things. It was like holding down A to crawl up a wall was just like fucking weird. You know, it was just.
That's why I actually always said I actually enjoyed it a little bit more using mouse and keyboard because I could put my fingers on more things at one time.
Yeah, oddly, Assassin's Creed always felt better on a mouse and keyboard to me. It felt like it was almost tailored for a mouse and keyboard, and then they're like, put it on a controller, and it's like, this doesn't work, guys.
Because I'm like, I only have a couple fingers I could use on that, where I can put my fingers on multiple things on the PC.
Yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. Assassin's Creed always felt better on mouse and keyboard. Let's see. Other than that, Sony had Uncharted.
Yeah, which I mean, the Lost Legacy, right?
Which I don't know if that's a full game or a DLC or.
It is a standalone DLC, basically.
So basically, like Last Light, it'll be like a short Uncharted.
Yeah, Old Blood, basically, type deal, a shorter version. Yeah. Which I think it looks cool. I mean, I love that series. I love the characters and everything. So I'm fine with it being more. As long as I'm still teetering on that thing where I'm like, just don't bring back Nathan. Like, keep his story done.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I felt that way after 3, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I kind of did too. But then I heard 4 is amazing. Like, God. Oh,
4 is pretty damn good, actually. Yeah. But it just felt like 4 was just like we're just hammering the nail in deeper. For no apparent reason other than we want another Uncharted.
Pretty much.
And Vinny says, what about Zeds and Killing Floor? Okay, let me say this. If you like Killing Floor, I do not want to hurt your feelings, okay? I could not give a shit about Killing Floor or anything else
Yeah,
that's Horde-related gameplay. I just don't like it. I hate it with a passion. Like, ever since Horde mode came out in God of War, Gears of War 3, I think, 3 or 2? Gears of War 2.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, ever since Horde mode came out, it's just like, fuck this shit, I don't want to play it. The only thing close to it is Insurgency, because it's like Horde mode, but not really Horde mode. It's kind of like tactical Horde mode. So, anyways.
Oh, we skipped PC Gaming Show.
Oh, did we? Oh, darn.
Yeah. Which I was actually there for.
Sorry.
Which I actually did. No, it's fine. I don't know. Are we done with Sony? I can't think of anything else for Sony.
That's all I could think of. I mean, it was Sony. It was
okay.
It wasn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw Sean Layton come out like twice. Like, I just thought it was weird. They didn't have Shuhei or anybody like come out. That's what my kind of complaint was. And also, they only really revealed like a couple games. Everything else we've seen before.
Oh, and they did mention Vita.
Yeah,
Undertale's coming to Vita.
Undertale's coming to Vita, yeah. Oh, Geo. Oh, God, that guy. The guy, I can't remember his last name, but he always wears like the hockey shirt for PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy, he just promotes the Vita all the time, but yep.
Do you think Sony's press conference was a little bit worse this year because some of the people left Sony this year?
Maybe.
Because, like, a lot of the stuff that they announced in the past years, it was like, oh my god, that, like, I know for you it's the AAA stuff mostly. For me, it was, like, a lot of the indie stuff there. I was like, oh my god, this looks awesome. And then, like, now it's like he's working, I can't remember the guy's name, did their third-party stuff. Adam something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adam Boyce.
Adam Boyce, yeah.
Yeah, now he's working with, God, I can't remember all these names. I'm getting too old.
I can't remember where Adam Boyce went either. But yeah, he left.
He left, and it seemed like some of, like, the zest that was going on there.
Oh, he went to... Wait, no, that's not right. That's where he used to work.
The guys that made the PC version of Batman.
Iron Galaxy.
Galaxy. So hopefully he fixes that shit. So, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Galaxy did a terrible job at that, but from what I've heard, and what I've seen, because I have played a little bit, the takeover for Killer Instinct actually has been really good for them.
It has, but then the problem is their ports have a history of being bad.
Right. I think as long as they are just making the core game, they're fine. Don't do the ports.
Yeah.
Because Dive Kick, I don't like Dive Kick. I think it's a stupid game.
Dive Kick was one of those things, like when you saw it at the event and it was literally a controller like an arcade stick with two big ass buttons.
Yeah.
It was just like, that's really funny. I don't want to play that.
Right. But it's a solid game for what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
To be nice. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. It's just not necessarily good.
I like how Joe's going, to be nice. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm trying to be nice, but I'm trying to... But
is this what you did at E3 to some of the developers? Because I'm like, no, your game's fucking stupid. I hate it.
The only one that we'll get into that I was actually kind of mean to. Well, there was an indie guy that I tried to be nice, but I'm like, okay, I like the concept and everything, but here's all the things wrong with it.
Yeah.
And there was also Sega with Sonic Forces, which we'll get into.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like I'm doing them a service by being kind of mean and tearing the game apart. So. Right. That's what I would want to hear.
I try to be a little bit more tactful than you, but at the same time, you have to tell them, hey, these are the things wrong.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's how you make a better game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so that was Sony. So PC Game Show. I will say, like, the theater I was in was really cool. They actually had like a.
By the way, you have Detroit here.
Oh yeah, Detroit. Well, yeah, I played it. Okay, so let's go. Let's go over that really quick. So I've always been a fan of Quantic Dream stuff.
Yeah.
So this whole storybook thing is, choose your own story. I always love. So, anyways, with this game though, it seems like it gives you a lot more control. There's also, from what I played, like there's tons of choices here. Like you can see here, like there's different things where you can hide or. Like a casual or whatever is one of the selections where you can like make out with your buddy there, or your not buddy, but the girl there. but like the two different things, you can hide and be like, hey, that was a good idea, or like if you do that, she'll get pissed at you and everything. But it seems like it does carry on. It's more, I mean, it's more of like the adventure games and everything we play. But the game is gorgeous. Apparently, they do have it. Actually, I was surprised they are actually having it run, you know, in 4K and everything on the PlayStation Pro, which is cool. As pretty as it is, but I love this idea they have of. And it's going to totally change how the game plays. Like, here you can go the route of pacifist, or you can go violent and kind of try and make a statement the hard way. Like, all these scenes change, because they actually, you know, it actually crashed on me the first time.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back and change my options now. Like, the cops might just pass you, or they'll stop, and you have to actually, like, get them to go do something. Like, you might have to like call on the radio or something. Like, there's totally the choices are huge in this, but also it's going back to the heavy rain idea of if someone gets killed or incarcerated or whatever, the story keeps going, and I love that.
Yeah,
I love that idea. So every single time you play, it should be, unless you are picking the exact same things over again, it should be different. But it's also, they always have a little bit of meaning. I love them, you know, kind of the feeling behind this of like, it kind of has that the segregation feel or whatever, and kind of trying to make a statement with that, but with cyborgs.
Yeah.
It was cool too in the booth or wherever, they actually had people walking around with the little like LED pieces on their heads, and like they were walking around like robots. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I thought it looked pretty decent.
Yeah, and it plays and controls, you know, pretty well. Like, you actually can walk around and everything a little bit more, it feels, than some of the other games.
The thing I always like about David Cage games too is just like the cinematography, if that makes any sense. Yeah,
the cinematography is really good.
He's always like, even though it's a video game, he's always like giving you that sense of like somebody's sitting there holding the camera shooting it. Like, there's just the right amount of shake or something like that.
Right.
A lot of games
don't. No, yeah, David Cage is one step away from being a movie director.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you look at every single one of these scenes, like there's like a little shake here, like handheld shake or something there, and it's just like, it's so well done compared to any other game that I've seen. It really does give you that feeling of like, I'm playing a video game, but it's more like a movie kind of thing, you know?
It's an interactive movie, basically. Yeah. That's really what it is.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he's just a master at that. I actually kind of see him up a little bit higher than Kojima at this point for being able to do that.
Agree with you, because Kojima is a little more static with his stuff. I mean, even just camera work, but also the fact of they're very linear. Like, David Cage just has this huge web of where stuff can go, and with the way he has to shoot the scenes and everything. I'm sure, like, the actors and everything, it's like, I shot this scene, then I had to shoot this scene again, but differently, because it went a different way. Like, it's just, I'm sure it got almost annoying on them to a point. But it's just so, I love that idea of the interactive storytelling of shaping the way your story goes, and I think David Cage is probably our best guy for that at this point.
Yeah, and not only that, like the team he works with, like you could sit here and look at this game and be like, the shadowing doesn't look that good, you know, like the depth of field effect, for instance, looks kind of janky compared to other stuff I've seen. It just looks like a plain filter or whatnot. But it's just like, you could pick that apart, but then when you look at how he's put it together, it's like, it doesn't matter that he isn't using the best ambient occlusion or whatever. You know, the thing's running 4K and it's running, it looks beautiful, you know.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen character models that have been more detailed than this, but it just doesn't matter when you're lost in the story. So, yeah, so it's like,
that's the only appointment I was able to get into.
Yeah.
And I'm glad.
But it's just like, he is like, I think his team that he has right now is really, like, they're in their golden age right now. Personally.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to what else they make. And
it does, too, from what I saw, it seems like they really are, as a person who's been to, you know, Detroit, wherever they are, it's more, I don't know, for some reason video game developers or whatever think that Detroit is going to be the place where they start making cybernetics. I don't know why they think this, but like, they are kind of capturing the idea of Detroit. Apparently, because I actually talked to Guillermo or whatever, he's the second in command at Quantic Dream. Like how really, with all these choices and everything, like he's like, technically, you could totally ignore this mission if you really want to. You could walk away and changes it. I'm like, that is so cool. like you don't. He's like, you just don't really. If you want, you just don't have to do it. I'm like, that is so cool. But like they actually had like the people mover and like like a lot of like the landmarks and everything in Detroit, and kind of it did at least in that scene did have, you could tell it was downtown Detroit and they actually looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Now we're done with the Sony stuff.
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Sony was good. It was just coming back from their other ones. It wasn't at the level of hype as we're used to with them.
Mm-hmm. So, what is it next? Nintendo?
Well, we skipped over PC Game Show, so let's go do that because it was on the same day.
I was gonna say.
Okay, okay, fine. I actually enjoyed it a lot, and maybe partially because I was actually there, sitting in the crowd. But I thought they learned a lot over the past couple of years. Their pacing was a lot better. They just did the little snippets of talking with the developers. Like it was, I don't think they talked to any of the developers longer than like 3, maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought the best one was actually when they brought out Cliffy B. His statement solidified that game for me though with Lawbreakers. He's like, I'm charging you he's like, we're gonna do $30. He's like, none of that bullshit of paying $60 for an only multiplayer game.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Like, as more, this guy used to drive me insane. Maybe it's because he was working for Epic and he was really cocky and whatever. But like now that he's in charge and he has more control, maybe I'm like, yeah, that's right. You get it.
He's like a Gabe Newell that talks.
Yeah, basically.
That's basically what it is.
I mean, he does. He has a lot of personality to him.
Yeah.
But he seems to have this love for this game, and he's very candid with the way he talks.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
you met Cliffy in person,
I have.
and I've met Cliffy in person, and I can tell you, there's like the couple of seconds you get on the internet, it just makes him seem like the biggest dickhead ever. He's actually one of the nicest, most upfront people I've ever met in my entire life. He didn't look down on me as like, well, I'm Cliffy B, motherfucker. Who are you? You know, it was like, it wasn't anything like that. It was like he was actually really cool. So, yeah, I think there was like, what was it that like Janet or somebody asked him? It's like I really have some pent up anger or something. And I want to punch you in the face.
Okay, so my whole thing was I wanted to punch him in the face. She's like, hey, can I get a picture? My one friend always says he wants to punch you in the face. Like, can I get a picture with you of me punching you in the face? He's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that he gets that he rubs people the wrong way sometimes, and it's just like,
he knows that.
Yeah, he knows that. So,
but he doesn't care. But I mean, he's a pretty down to heart guy. He actually talked about too, because when I met him, I was at ECGC, which is the East Coast Gaming Conference, which is in Raleigh, which is actually near where Boss Key is at. And he talked about how much he loved Raleigh, he loved working in that area and everything. Like, he kind of more down to earth when he was talking a lot of that stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. Kind of humanized him a little bit more instead of being this big, huge, Cliffy B, type of character. So
yeah, you kind of get that it was like, I'm Cliffy B and I'm making this persona so I can sell this game.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of the way it came off. So,
but yeah, I thought the Lawbreakers looked really cool. Everything it has changed over time.
Yeah,
it seemed like it was pretty much going to be Overwatch, but he's like, okay, I need to change this up a little bit. And he even said he didn't know about Overwatch, and then someone told him about it, and he's like, oh yeah, it is a lot like Overwatch. So he had to change it up a bit. But I think it seemed, they're really fast paced. He's really pushing to make sure it has 60 frames on PS4 so that you get the same experience. Even though he says it'll easily run at 120 frames on most people's PCs.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool of him. He's really pushed for that. He's really pushed for PC version of that as well.
Well, originally when they announced it, it was only PC.
Yes. Like,
that's been his main focus, and he's just like, hey, we're at a point in the development cycle where we can't get this on the boxes without a degraded experience. So, yeah. So, I've been playing the alpha and now the beta for a while.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I really, really like it. It's really fun. I feel like there's a couple characters that need to be tweaked a little bit, but it's been a really cool experience, like their version of the beta. So, like, when you go into the game, there's actually a place you can click, and they have a Discord.
Oh,
and
cool.
Every single time that they run a beta, Cliffy's in there, and actually even his wife is in there. along with the entire development team.
Nice.
Any question you have, anything that you would like to address or whatnot, they're in there. It's like, hey, even if it's like I'm having problems understanding how to play with this character, which I put in there one time, and immediately somebody from the dev team's like, oh, you should probably use it in this kind of way. Yeah, and it's just like it's kind of weird. It's like I'm not there. It gives me that similar feeling as like I went to their E3 booth and tried to play their game, and I'm talking to the dev there, but it's through the internet. It's interesting to see how these games, development wise, are changing and whatnot. And I think it's really cool that you have somebody like Cliffy B that's like in the forefront of trying to lead that and make a better game that way. I think that's really neat.
Actually, some of the PC game show that they did, well, if you were actually there, like free to the show, they might have did it on the screen, I don't know, but they actually had like a little trivia thing of like all these like PC gaming questions and stuff, like how many expansion packs were on the original Sims, and like little stupid trivia questions like that, which I thought was kind of cool. So just kind of bringing it back to like the people who were there, you know, all that PC crowd. But I'm trying to think. Oh, they showed off Ublots, which was actually I did get to play.
Okay. And that was around here somewhere, unless I closed it.
Weirdly enough, I played at the Xbox booth. Oh, you closed that one.
I closed it.
I'm sure you can find it. But I actually, weirdly enough, played it at the Xbox booth, but they had it running on a PC. And they actually had it so you could either play on mouse and keyboard or with the controller. Which playing with the mouse and keyboard was alright. It wasn't bad. One thing that was kind of nice is you could actually like click on things with the mouse, but otherwise you're just normal WASD, just move around, press space, or activate certain things or whatever. But I could definitely tell that game was running. You know, they had it running at 4K. It's not really crazy graphically or anything, but it was a fun little cute game that kind of took a mix between like Harvest Moon and like Pokemon. Because you like, I guess you like inherited this farm or whatever, and you can like grow stuff, but you grow stuff that you can actually put onto your Ublots, and kind of like either upgrade them or just stupid little apparel things like bow ties or whatever. You know, you get little things. Some of the stuff that you grow is really odd, but you go around town and everything. And your Ublots are based around like what you grow. They kind of, I think they all grow out of the ground. And there is like a battle system. Like you meet people and like, hey, you want to battle our Ublots or whatever. So, and that's where like the Pokemon thing comes in, and you have like your select like skills that they have and whatnot. It's a fun, cute little game. I played it. The demo was actually decently long. It was probably 15-20 minutes. But you can customize your characters, like shops and stuff in the town. And new things come up, and I mean, it's a $20 game at best, but it was fun.
Yeah.
That's a really unique graphical style.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Katamari art style almost.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Double Fine is publishing it.
Yay, Double Fine's awesome. But, yeah, it looks cool.
That was one of the things they showed off there, they revealed. I think their biggest thing, they actually had a good closer for it, was Age of Empires Remastered, or Definitive Edition, I think is what they actually call it. Yeah. Which I thought looked actually really good, because you can tell they actually went in and like redid everything. I know they redid the music. It's all an actual orchestra now. They redid all the sprites. They actually like went back and re-rendered, like, because technically a lot of the sprites were like 3D renders that they made in the sprites. So they went back and like re-rendered everything. They added more frames to the animations to make it more fluid. It looks like a really, really good remastering of that game. I know they said they actually even tweaked a lot of like the UI and stuff, so like you can actually have like an idle button now, because there was no idle button in the original one for your character, for your units and stuff, like, so like little tweaks and everything to make it more modern, make it feel really good.
That's cool. Yeah, so anything else from PC Gamer Show that seemed cool?
I'm trying to think there was anything else. Oh, they showed off the new XCOM DLC.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw a little bit of that.
Which looked really cool. I think, I'm trying to remember how they described it. So you have these new, like, villains or whatever that you are actually, like, fighting throughout the whole thing. Like, they keep showing up, but they're like a middle ground character, like, between the aliens and you. So, like, the aliens don't like them either, so when they show up or whatever, they'll fight the aliens as well. I think they're the Chosen, I think it was called. Let's see, XCOM 2. Oh god, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, War of the Chosen. Yeah, so they're called the Chosen.
Okay.
So, but they're like basically this squad of badasses that just show up, and even if you were able to beat them, you don't really beat them. So they like show up randomly, and they're just there to fuck things up. I thought it's kind of a neat idea to the game to kind of throw a wrench into things while you're still like fighting off the aliens.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see much at the PC thing that was like kind of captured my eye that I didn't already know was coming.
I mean, yeah, Intel had their little thing where they talked about like the i9s and stuff too.
I don't care. I'm just the only thing I have to say about that. I have an 8-core 16 thread now. I can't even use that and everything.
Right.
So it's like, hey, unless everybody wants to start running VMs on their computer, I don't think an 18 core is really going to help you a whole lot.
They did give free food there, which was nice.
Okay, PC Gamer's awesome now all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, they had like fruit and muffins and like milk and whatever, coffee and everything. It was kind of cool because it was early in the morning. It was like 9 o'clock or something.
If it felt like it was a little bit small. Is that how it comes off?
I didn't think so. Like maybe smaller than the other ones, but it was still a good sized theater.
Oh, okay.
But their stage and everything, I don't know, maybe it felt a little bit more small. Like the stage was probably half the size of probably like Sony's or whatever, but Sony's has a huge stage, which they didn't use. Except for the 2 people they had hanging.
Oh, come on, they had water and stuff.
Oh yeah, the beginning thing.
And then there's a screen that slid out on top of another screen.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah.
But no, I actually enjoyed the PC gaming show. Like I said, they learned a lot. They were a lot quicker with the videos and everything. But I actually thought, what's his face? I can't remember his name. It wasn't too annoying this year.
He just rubs me the wrong way. That's why I have a hard time watching it. He's just one of those people who just rubs me the wrong way, like completely.
Oh, which reminds me with the Ubisoft thing. Yeah. No Aisha Tyler this year.
Which I was kind of sad.
I was actually happy about this. I love Aisha Tyler, to be honest. I think she does a great job on Whose Lines Anyways and in Archer. I love her in those. But I think her hosting of Ubisoft is just, I don't like it. Maybe it's because I like it when they're a little more classy at E3. That's why I like Sony, because they always come out in like suits or whatever, or at least like a jacket and whatever. They're there for business. Where I feel like with her hosting, it doesn't feel like it's business. And this year, I thought it felt a lot better. It was a lot more to the point, a lot more concise.
I'll be honest. I just like looking at her. So, okay.
I mean, she's pretty, but
yeah. I'm like, yay, she's much better looking than their CEO.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think they did a better job.
They did a good conference this year. They did overall a good conference. It's just like Ubisoft has just never done a great conference when it comes to hosting or anything, and I'm still waiting from them. To me, it's like she's never as bad as Mr. Caffeine.
No, Mr. Caffeine was probably the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, the worst of anything I've ever seen.
Was that PC Gamer?
No, that was freaking Ubisoft.
Was it Ubisoft? Oh, that's right. It was. Oh god, that was terrible.
The other thing I'll give Ubisoft props for this year, since we're going back to that, is Just Dance was like, hey, Just Dance is coming out, bye.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, it was shorter this time, which I'm glad.
Yeah. So anyways.
But I like the PC Gamer show. I thought they did a good job. I'm actually wearing the shirt from there, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got a couple more to talk about here. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, apparently.
Oh, no. Well, we got Nintendo. They're present.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, it was only like a half hour, but they kind of went rapid with it. It was Nintendo Direct, so
yeah.
I mean, it's what to expect. Let's see, Metroid Prime 2, or not Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 4 was announced.
Awesome, but yeah. I don't have anything to say about it.
I don't even know if they confirmed whether it was Retro Studios or not.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
I imagine it is. I don't think they would give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone's like, the only thing they've said is it was an internal development team. And I'm like, well, Retro Studios is internal, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
They own them. Let's see, what else did they show? Well, they showed a little bit more rabbits. I actually was able to get my hands on Mario Odyssey. I was able to play that. I thought it was actually a good trailer too that they showed with the dinosaur. Kind of threw it off. I thought it was like a Monster Hunter or a Xeno or something.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that with Sony Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World did look awesome.
Yeah, which but it's a big deal. So
it is. It's a big deal. I might actually give this one a try because I thought the other ones kind of looked kind of silly. This one actually looks more actiony and like you're actually going to be hunting them. Like, and they actually had the monsters like fighting each other. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So,
anyways, back to Mario.
Yes, but okay. So Mario Odyssey. I will say overall I had fun with it. The hat mechanic, you can pretty much throw it at anything almost and take control over it, which I thought was really, really cool. And I went around like I went in the city level. They had like the desert one and then they had the city. Though like the quest they had you on was basically trying to create that concert. Like, so you had to go around like there's like little side quests of like finding like the band members or whatever for that. And Pauline, who anybody doesn't know, Pauline is the character from Donkey Kong in Mario. She is actually the one who's captured by Donkey Kong. So I thought bringing her into that context is really cool. But the hat actually controlled really well. They had it on the Switch, of course, but they had it for me. The controller was detached, so it was just the little two Joy-Cons. Oh my god, it bugged me really bad. Yeah. Because they're tiny, they're itty bitty. Yeah. And like I kept feeling like my hand like was awkwardly placed on the right one, so like to go between the buttons and the stick, the control for the camera control was bugging the hell out of me. And you could like flick your wrist and it would throw the hat, but I never did that. I just pressed the button to do it. Yeah. But yeah, like you can like hit like the power lines or whatever. You can actually like zip up and get up to like buildings and go like what you were seeing in the video. But you can take over. I took over a guy who had like a remote control car, and like I could actually control the remote control car using him, which was fun. You could like take over like taxis and like I mean, I think this mechanic can really revolutionize, maybe not necessarily revolutionize, but at least a huge game changer for Mario and add a lot more fun possibilities to it. Also, I mean, it looked really good. It was kind of grainy a little bit, but it's the Switch is probably running maybe at 1080 at best. Maybe more like 900p.
Yeah, whatever.
But whatever. I mean, it was running good. But it had the fluidity of what I want to say you remember of like Mario 64, except with camera controls. Yeah. So I give them a good, they did a good job with it. I actually, if I have a Switch, I would definitely say get that game.
It's definitely a system seller to me. Like I think I said this last year too. Like I had a bad feeling about Mario because I just didn't know what they were bringing out, and what they were showing last year just felt like kind of Super Mario Sunshine-ish. In a way.
I mean, there's a little bit. It has a little bit of Sunshine feel to it, but Sunshine's not a bad game. So.
Controls say otherwise, but anyways.
Well, yeah.
Thank God I can emulate it and fix the controls now. Is all I'm gonna say. No, Sunshine wasn't bad. It wasn't the best, but it just for some reason was coming off to me. When I see this, I'm like, okay, this looks great. I want to play this now. But it wasn't a wholly unique mechanic to me. I've kind of seen this one before. It reminded me of Avenging Spirit on Game Boy. Okay. A little bit, which is a game where you're literally a ghost and you can possess any of the characters in the game and become them. And it kind of took like from Kirby a little bit like that. I think it's cool that you can possess objects. Yeah. And stuff. But it's like, it just seemed like it's unique in its own way. Not the thing is with any video game, nothing's fully unique. So. Especially just when you're nuts like us and have this huge catalog of shit in the back of your head. It's like you could pick anything apart. So looking at it, it's like, okay, this time they finally gave me a reason to want to buy a Switch. Like the extra little reason just to like go out there and get one. I do think that there needs to be a little bit more. I would like to see them say more about their online service and how that's going. Yeah, I was hoping to see something about like the virtual console, like how they're going to do that. It's going to carry over, like what's going on with that. Yeah, because I don't know if you heard how they're handling Splatoon at all.
Inform me.
Okay, Splatoon's going to have online chat and stuff.
Right.
but it's going to be its own app, so it's not the online
Right.
stuff.
You have to do it through your phone, which it's like, well, most of us have Discord anyway, so come on.
Yeah. So what the thing they're coming out with is a breakout box. They get the sound and the chat to mix. You have to have it hooked into your Switch and then hooked into your phone at the same time. And it's like, I just have this bad feeling. It's like, this is the way they see us handling online. Like, why don't you just do it off the fucking Switch?
Isn't it in the goddamn game? Come on.
And it's just like,
2017. Microsoft was doing this in
2003. Yeah. It's like, I really like Nintendo. I want to buy your product. Please stop fucking things up that are obvious.
Right.
And it's like that's the only thing that's holding me off. All the games look great. I love the announced stuff, but there's no way in hell that I want to play Mario Kart or anything else like that with my friends to the point where I won't buy the console. It's not worth it to me. There's stuff that I legitimately want to play online, and that is not the experience I want to have. And I just have this awful feeling that until they prove to me that that's not the way that they're going, it's not worth it to me. Is that much? I know for a lot of people are like, I'll just play single player games. No, I want to play Mario Kart with you guys. I want to play Splatoon with you guys. I don't want to have this like boat anchor hanging off my ass where I can't like get up and go get like a drink or something. I have to unhook 15 different things, and it's like it's that much of a big deal to me. It's just
because that is where like Splatoon and Mario Kart strive is the multiplayer, but there's all these little like niches, these little problems that make it a hindrance to play online.
Yeah.
And they're charging now too, so
it's
cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. I don't mind it for what it sounds like you're getting, but it's just like these extra things I think they needed to address this E3 to really fully get me on board and understand where their direction is with online. And it's not like they have a ton of games anyways. It just happens to be they have really great games compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean the new Yoshi looked like more Yoshi.
I actually didn't like the art.
I'm happy for Kirby. New Kirby.
The new Kirby looked good. I didn't really like the Yoshi, at least the art style.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. It was like cardboard boxes.
And like the music was not the greatest from what I heard. It was just like, it literally sounded like it was made by children. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is if your online is so asinine that I just don't want to go and invest in your online games, you are literally taking away like a good 25 to even maybe half of the reason I want to get a Switch. And that needed to be addressed, and it wasn't, and that's why overall I'm kind of like pooping on Nintendo.
Yeah, they could have done a little more.
Yeah. The games that they showed were great. The games that they showed this year were great.
Actually, I did like the Fire Emblem Warriors thing. I actually thought that was kind of cool because they showed too, like because there's multiple characters going on the map, and you can actually go onto the map and like tell them like where to go and stuff. Like it actually is like on a grid. Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool, kind of mixing a little bit of actual Fire Emblem in there.
Yeah, I think if you're an JRPG fan, the Switch has got you covered for a while. They had Xenoblade that they showed again. They had another game too. I can't remember the name of it. But I was like, there's a lot of JRPG stuff just coming to the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Xenoblade.
Yeah. So there seemed to be a lot of that going on. And then the other thing, too, is like the other question I have is like the Mario game that Ubisoft is working on, Rabbids plus Mario, whatever they call it. I think that looks really cool. That looks like that's a contender for online. So once again, that gets into that thing. I would like to know more about what's going on with their services.
Right.
That sounds like that's coming out this August, actually.
Yeah, August sounds right.
Yeah. So it's like, I want to invest in one, but I don't want to invest in one and get bit in the ass like I have in the past.
Trust me, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Hi, Wii U.
I thought you loved your Wii U.
I do, but, you know, I still got to get Zelda for it. That's the thing a lot of people have been asking me, too. They're like, oh, you should get a Switch. I'm like, why? Like, the only game I would care about right now is on the Wii U, which I already spent money on.
Yeah, and it doesn't run any real different at all, so, yeah. It's like...
Yeah, it runs a little bit better on the Switch, but not much. Not enough to warrant an extra, what, $300?
Yeah.
So, there was another announcement that was in the Treehouse, which, in a way, makes me happy because it actually gives reason of what they did. So they're doing Metroid Samus Returns, which is Metroid 2 remake.
Yeah, I got some things to say about that.
You do, but at least it wasn't, hey, we're going to shut down AM2R and for no reason. So at least they're doing something, and that's why.
I just wish they went about it differently.
I mean, I do too. At least they let him release it. And then they shut him down. Because they could have shut him down long before that.
Hey, what if they released this Metroid and that was an extra pack-in to the game?
That'd be cool.
How much cooler would that have been?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it'd still be cool, but it's kind of, it feels like it might be redundant.
Okay, but all right. No, I obviously haven't played the new Metroid game.
Right.
But here's just all I'm going to say about it. After playing AM2R, okay?
They have a lot to live up to.
They do. AM2R was awesome because it was pixel art and it was really detailed pixel art. It was the good kind of pixel art, okay?
Yes.
This Metroid, although I love that they're going back and fixing Metroid 2 because it had some serious problems.
Yes.
It looks very flat. Like they're doing this 2D.
It could look better.
They're doing this like 2.5D, and it just, to me, it looked like it was not very well detailed. Like they have like these like literally areas of like rock face, and also just drop off like that. There's not like a whole lot going on. There's some background stuff going on, but it feels, when you look at it compared to like AM2R, which it's pixel art, you kind of expect it to be what it is to a certain extent, and it does it like really well. And then you look at this and it's like, okay, this is an actual 3D engine. This should have like a little bit more detail, a little bit more effect to it, and then it just kind of felt flat to me. Like, and then I found out this is Mercury Stream who made the Castlevania.
It is
game.
Mercury Stream, yeah.
So,
which I thought it was funny. I'm like, well, they know how to make Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it looks as bad as you're saying, but it wasn't eye popping. There was
no,
for sure, but it didn't look bad. It just didn't look like anything special. But I thought what they were showing with the controls and everything, like it seemed like it had a little more freedom than what we're like used to with Metroids. Like it seemed like it had a little more free range of like where you shoot and everything.
Yeah.
And the way the power ups and everything worked looked really cool. It's just it's gonna be hard though to live up to AM2R because AM2R just, you're right. I mean it was pixel art, but they pushed some cool little things graphically, like it was detailed, but they also had like weird like lighting effects and stuff in there, and they changed some of that stuff up. That definitely was clever and wasn't in the original game. So
yeah,
but they're two different games, so we'll see. I don't have any ambition to play that game, but if you were never able to pick up AM2R and you don't know where you can possibly find it, this might be a good alternative if you want to get through the Metroid series. I'm glad they're showing at least some love to that series because it is possibly my favorite of the Nintendo series.
The only bad thing I could say too is it seemed like they went really heavy on the melee mechanic in it.
Yeah, which I think too, though they were just trying to show that off, that this is the new thing that for it. I don't necessarily think you have to use it all the time, but it's like this is the new thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually probably looking at getting a 3DS again.
Oh, really?
Well, the reason I left it is, from my point of view, I had an original launch 3DS, and I'm sure you've heard of this many other times. Like the screen's wider on the top than the bottom, and it would scratch the top screen.
Oh, okay.
And I sent that thing in the Nintendo twice. One time I had to send it back because they left a bunch of dust and shit on the screen when they took it apart.
Of course.
And just my point of view, and it's a very unique point of view because to me, growing up with a Game Boy, and you can just chuck that thing at your brother and not worry about it and pick it back up and play it. It's like Nintendo stuff is just cheap now for the most part. Like everything's kind of built cheaply to me. I can go up there and like beat the crap out at Nintendo and it'll still work, even though it's like 30 years old or whatnot.
Right.
I can sling the controllers like a nunchuck. So you get my point. So I just eventually just like said, you know what, I'm just gonna get rid of this for right now. I'm gonna go get something else. I ended up getting a Vita for a little while, and then you saw how that turned out.
Right.
And then I was like, I just got to the point where I was like, I think the way to approach a lot of these Nintendo consoles nowadays, because they're so slow to release things and whatnot, is
Yeah.
to wait for the hardware to get better. Wait for the games to come out. It's okay that you're not playing them day one. Come back to them later. They'll be cheaper. You can buy them secondhand, whatever. And lo and behold, the 2DS XL's out now, and is the
Right.
only 3DS that actually fixes that problem.
Right. It does, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, I don't necessarily need the 3D. It's $150. It's a really nice system.
It is. It actually, yeah, I agree. I think that blue and black looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so it's like, instead of a Switch, after watching that conference, I'm actually kind of like, I'm just going to go back to 2DS and just play a lot of these old games and enjoy them.
That's what I have. I have a 2DS, but the original 2DS.
Yeah, and it kind of reinforced my thought of that. It's like, it's not that I hate the Switch or the games coming out. It takes Nintendo such a long time to populate the library to these systems for the first couple of years, and it's just like, by the time that library will be populated, they'll have a better Switch that's probably built even better, or has a better battery life, or a little bit cheaper, or something, you know.
Oh yeah, they announced Rocket League,
Which I have.
which I have already. But I think
Yeah.
that's cool that they're bringing that to it, and we'll have cross-platform play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically the way I look at it, cool. I have more noobs to pwn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of
That's
the way
cool
I
to
came.
play down the go.
That's the way I kind of came away from this. So I'll probably end up playing that Metroid game just because I'll have a 2DS by that time. But yeah, I don't know. I hate to kind of shit on Nintendo, and I'm not.
I mean, we
trying
always
to.
do. I thought that it was actually a lot. It went a lot better than I thought it would.
It was a really good press conference. It was or event or whatever you want to call it. It was a really good treehouse.
Yeah, it was house fair.
Um,
Showed a lot of stuff. I mean, that's kind of the thing I like about the Treehouse is they really go a lot more in depth and actually show them playing the games and stuff. I actually enjoy the Treehouse quite a bit.
The Treehouse still does it the best, and they do it
Yeah.
the way that they used to. I don't know if you noticed, but there's this thing in the past couple of years at E3. It's like either you come out and talk about your game, or you show gameplay, and it's like they do it like they used to back in the day still, where it's like you come out and somebody's playing your game, and you're talking about what's going on in the game and stuff like that. And they're the only ones that do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, at least on the feed.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, was there anything else though with Nintendo? I will say their booth, awesome, and they actually. So this is, I think, the second largest E3 of all time. There was one, it was just hair shy of being the largest. They were not prepared most of the booths for this many people. Like Microsoft was really bad about it. That's why they kept like cutting people off and whatnot. They were probably the worst. But Nintendo, like as many people as playing Odyssey, it took me maybe a half hour to wait in that line. It was just motoring. Like they're like, hey, this is how it's gonna go. You come along the line on the wall, and then we're gonna divide you up into these lines, which divide up into these lines that go when you actually wait for the game. Like they made sure like Mario Odyssey is like 10 minutes, you're done. That's the demo. Once you press that start button, it's 10 minutes from this point. Get out.
Yeah.
So it got you enough time to play and try, and they had a bunch of units for it going. They did probably the best. Everyone else was kind of like, here's a few stations, fight over it.
Yeah.
Sega, luckily, a lot of their games, like the Sonics and stuff, don't take that long, so they're moving along people pretty fast. But yeah, overall, I mean that was probably the biggest problem is they were not prepared for this many people, so a lot of the lines were ridiculous. I know Wolfenstein 2 was like 2 or 3 hour wait.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that gets a whole other debate. Like, it felt like they kind of announced that they were letting the public in a little bit too late in the cycle for a lot of people to adapt. I don't know. So, like,
I think next year it'll go. Hopefully, it should go better.
It'll hopefully go better. I heard that they had like people speaking there and stuff this year, but did you see any of that?
Yeah. One of them that I saw, I thought was awesome, was Tim Schafer and Jack Black, and they're such a cute couple. They just talked about they talked a lot about Brutal Legend, Psychonauts 2. They said, Jack Black, they don't know what character he's going to be in it, but he will be in Psychonauts 2 somewhere. But it was just kind of cool. It was a lot more personal conversation between the two, though, just talking about being gamers and being friends and whatnot. It was kind of a cool little thing. They had Hideo Kojima. I watched his. His was more like about like his movie influences and stuff, like things he grew up on, like what he watched, what he liked, what got him into gaming, and stuff that he grew up on. And a lot of it was like really deep and personal with him, but I guess that's just the way he is, though. So like,
did he try to grab you in a weird way, or?
No, I didn't actually get that close to him. But.
Okay.
There's a couple. It's cool.
All right, cool. So okay, let's go through all this. I'm just gonna kind of give my general thoughts. I think for me, Sony was kind of the weakest this year. I thought
they were one of the weaker ones for sure.
I think they were the weakest overall because they just showed me a bunch of stuff that I already knew was coming from what I and Shadow of the Colossus. I'm like,
that's why I said that Shadow of the Colossus was like the one new thing they had to show, kind of. They should have saved that for the end.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. There's nothing for me to get super hyped over. It's like I don't know.
They could. I wanted more Shenmue, and I wanted Sega to announce their HD collection, but they didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of the stuff that they were pushing for a couple of years ago, like Shenmue and stuff, and see where that's at and whatnot. If they were going to show stuff again, but it's just like God of War is like kind of expecting it. It's like, you know, I don't know. It was decent. It wasn't bad. Let's say that. I thought Nintendo was probably, you know, it's a toss up between Ubisoft, just because Ubisoft has Assassin's Creed this year and they're changing it up. I'm going to say probably I'm going to put Nintendo just slightly under Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But I think like both of them actually had a really good showing this year.
They did.
Despite like my concerns with the online stuff, I think Nintendo, for the most part, nailed it out of the park the best that they could for what was going on. To be fair, the system is in its first year. Right.
It's very, very new.
Yeah, so you're not going to see a whole lot, and that goes with everybody when their shit's new. There's more. I would argue that there's more there for Nintendo than there ever was for PlayStation or Xbox. That's interesting.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I would still give it to Microsoft. They showed a lot of stuff overall. They're probably the best, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. And then there's Ubisoft, which they had a good showing, but I'm going to have to give it to Microsoft this year, just because for these particular reasons. I know a lot of people are down on this. Some people are like, they didn't have any exclusives. They did.
A lot.
They had the same amount of exclusives. If you want to argue about timed exclusives and actual exclusives, if you think about how many games Sony showed off this year, and you take into account stuff like Forza 7, Crackdown 3, all that, and Sea of Thieves, they literally had just as many actual exclusives on the console. And just because it's on Windows does not mean it's not an actual exclusive. There's no real crossover between console people and PC people. And they realize that. That's why these things are on PC. They're going to sell their games where they can. And that doesn't mean exclusivity goes away. There's not a shit ton of people with gaming PCs. That's just the way it is.
I mean, it is growing. I'll give them that. But it's nowhere near the number of console people.
No. So I think they had really good showing this year. They showed a lot of games that I was interested in. I like the pacing of the conference a lot better than anything else. Too. I like when Phil Spencer comes out because Phil Spencer feels very genuine and very.
I like Phil.
And I don't know if you saw any of his interviews this year, but
maybe a couple.
Dude, the Giant Bomb interview this year was so good with him because Jeff did not hold back. He's like, "Why do I need an Xbox One X? Please explain this to me." And he's just going out the park. He's like, "Hey, you know what? If you got a PC, you don't need one. Get our games on a PC." Like, he's very honest about that crap. He's like one of the very few people in the industry that is. And to go from that to the last guy that we had.
Right. But that's also the thing, that Phil understands too, and that's why I think they're pivoting this way, is like he realizes with the PC people, they technically have them because everyone's going to have one. I mean, you play these games on Windows. Like 90% of people that play on PC play on Windows. Yeah. If not even a higher percentage, possibly. Yeah. So he knows, hey, we're still going to get money. Either way. Yeah. So, hey, if you don't want to play it on there, you want to play it on your PC, go for it. Yeah.
So, like, at the end of the day, I really think Microsoft had the best showing, and I'm really laughing at the people that didn't see that, and I'm just like, what are you watching?
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, I thought they did a good showing with the Xbox One X. I mean, they were really, pushing, like, hey, and I liked how they showed, like, these are all the games. This will play in 4K. This one will be just enhanced. They were very honest, like, and I thought they did a great job with that.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people were saying that they lied because like they had like, if you actually looked at what he said exclusive or whatnot, maybe I think it was better the other year when they said first on Xbox.
Yeah.
But it did say like Xbox exclusive on that one, and at some point people like just heard him say this is going to be exclusive, and just blanket did a idiot typical internet thing and just blanket statement that for everything that was shown at the conference, and that's not it. You just weren't paying attention. So yeah, because
there was a lot. They showed a lot of indie games too that they were bringing, so.
And that's unusual for him. They don't really do that before, and it seems like since he's got in, the message has changed a lot. Like, they recognize smaller developers just as much as the bigger guys, and they're pulling them in. And I think overall, to me, it's more appealing. I like it, and I also see Xbox. I like watching the event and seeing these games because, to me, now that you have this ecosystem where not only is the games running on the DirectX API, and we can get into another argument on this, it's easier for them to scale it to new hardware down the road.
Right.
So people on Xbox are going to be able to keep their libraries and move on for years now if they keep up with that momentum.
Right.
The other thing I like is now for me as a PC gamer, it's a doorway to get these games onto my PC.
Right.
That wasn't there before. So.
And two, also if you have the more powerful PC, I think that Xbox One X is going to help with that too, because it's like, hey, here's these new features that we can add in because there's more power. You can actually transfer that over to your PC as well. So.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's the DirectX API. So.
Yeah. Like, it's the Pro is cool, but the Pro has some issues because it's so tied to the hardware.
Right.
And it's just like, it's kind of a nightmare in some ways.
Yeah, I don't know if they mentioned anything. Is there any mention of like how much like is there going to be more benefit to like of your old games? Will they run better? Most likely
it'll be just like PC. So like if they made a game, even if they're not updating it, like say if it's like a Call of Duty, like Black Ops 3 for instance, okay?
Right.
Black Ops 3, like when you played it originally, it had problems just keeping 60 FPS.
Right.
So now when you play it in this, it will go full 60. It will run as fast as the profile they use. What do they call their profiling systems? Like Pixie or something like that?
That sounds right.
Yeah, or something like that. So whatever your profiling system's set up for, it will run to that as far as it can. So that's basically what it's going to end up doing. So I think that is overall, I think that whole system's a good setup for them.
Yep.
They're I like the fact that
I find it funny. It does seem like they actually prefer plan for the scalability a lot more than PlayStation did.
Yeah,
even though PlayStation came out first.
I mean, they're giving developers 9 gigs, so that allows them to put their 4K textures into these games from the PC version and then put it on the console, so that's another thing too. Mm-hmm. I like the way the ecosystem is looking more and more. I know a lot of people are really nervous, and they're like, oh no, remember games for Windows. I don't think that's going to happen under Phil Spencer.
Yeah, I don't think the same. No, that's not going to be the same problem anymore.
So, yeah. Overall, E3 was pretty damn good this year.
Yes, I agree.
Especially for being what I would call an off year.
Yeah, it did seem like there were a lot of the companies seemed like they only had a couple new games to show. But even so, it was still good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add?
I mean, I guess
Sonic.
Let's go over the few games that I haven't talked about. So I went to my favorite booth. Actually, probably was the Sega booth. Yakuza had like a little alleyway with all different games, and they had different each station actually had a different segment of Yakuza. So like some was like, hey, here's just like playing in the arcades there. Here's one where you get to walk around the streets. But Sonic Mania, like I knew it was going to be good, but this solidified it. It controlled flawlessly. All the momentum, all the little when you hit something, you the bounce and everything felt right. And I actually played the new level too, and the Christian Whitehead and the other people working on this understand what Sonic is supposed to be. Like there's different pathways up and down, and I totally tried to do this. The thing is, I actually tried to do this as fast as I could, but I wanted to play around a little bit, like where you could go. And there's little neat things like the little there's like a little gun that you can get into, and then swings, and you have to time it and everything. There's little added things that I thought was really cool to shoot you in different directions for levels. and it felt so good. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of the past Sonic games. Like, they look good, they sound good, they're pretty or whatever, but like the feel and the flow of Sonic just doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah.
Where they hit the nail on the head this time around.
Yeah. It's like, that's somebody I would like to talk to about the development of this game. I'm like, how'd you guys do it? Did you just take assets literally out of the Sega Genesis games to put it into this engine?
Right. I mean, you can tell they're new. Like, Sonic doesn't look quite the same as he used to. He's a little bit different. He's a little bit lighter colored. Mm-hmm. But you could tell, though, like, it looks like what Sonic would have looked like on the Saturn.
Yeah.
Like it even has, like, that weird, like, how, like, when you played, like Castlevania or whatever, you had the things that were like in like slight 3D, or they have like the way the like higher frame rate like sprites or whatever, but it had like a slight bit of like pixel distortion like around the movement. Like it has that, but it feels right. It's just so good.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest takeaway of the games I played. Sonic Forces, I played as well, and so the classic Sonic and the new Sonic, whatever they call regular Sonic, felt pretty good. They played right. Classic Sonic feels like he does in Generations, and actually both those play like they do in Sonic Generations. So pretty good there. But the Avatar, oh god, the Avatar, right? And maybe it'd be better once you have more selection and like what you create, because you can only pick like 2 types and whatever. Like there wasn't really a lot of customization you were able to play with there. But it just didn't. They had so many little problems and bugs with it. Like one, when I was playing it for that mode, for some reason, like the sound was cutting out here and there, and also like that was just a little weird place. But like also, like for some reason, I don't think they're doing like the physics and the momentum of like the way the character moves the same. So like in Sonic, how he has a little bit like drift, whatever, like when he floats and everything. Well, this almost was. The way the Avatar though moved was more similar to like how Sonic 4 was, where you get like if you weren't holding on the stick, you just drop, and like stupid little things like that, and it didn't feel quite right, and like the buttons didn't quite feel responsive, and they didn't really explain how his special abilities work very well. Maybe if I played around with them more and I had more time, I'd be like, okay, maybe this isn't that bad, but it's just playing it, just trying to jump in and play it and try it, just felt very odd. And also the boss for like Steve and Michelle, I don't even think his sister came with us, couldn't even get through the boss fight for the Avatar mode. It's just weird because one of my problems with being at these conventions or whatever sometimes is because the screens are so big and they're right in your face because they have squish you in there, like you can't see everything very well. So the fight was like you running at the screen, so you thought like, and there's these little like rocks that would pop up and you thought you had to dodge those like a move. That wasn't what you were looking for. Apparently, the robot, was like shooting like these big pillar things at you from behind, and you had to dodge those. But like that wasn't where your eye was locked to, because most of Sonic, you kind of stay along like the mid to bottom on the screen. So it was kind of weird how they did that. But it just, they need to tweak the Avatar and stuff. It feels like it's almost there, but like it just. Most of the way the buttons and everything control just felt weird. But they had it on the Switch and PlayStation 4, and actually on the Switch it played really well. That's what I played. Not the Avatar one was on PS4, so that was the one that was a little bit more buggy. But Switch, it felt great. For
my question would have been to them: where the hell is Sonic All-Stars 3?
Well, maybe that's coming. Sumo Digital has been a little bit busy lately. So they had Snake Pass just come out. So
where's Sonic Transformed or whatever 3?
Might be happening. We'll see. But they showed off. There was a couple.
You know
how
you sell me a Switch? You give me a Sonic All Stars 3, and you put Mario Kart characters in it.
That'd be cool.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
They did say they were bringing Yakuza 0 and Persona 5 to PC. That's something that they, which is cool, so I can actually get my hands on Persona 5 if I really want to play it.
They've done a great job on the PC stuff.
Oh, they had the new Warhammer as well, which was really, it looks fantastic. Creative Assembly knows this. They have RTSs down.
Yeah, so they've been doing such a good job past couple of years. Valkyria Chronicles on PC was awesome. Bayonetta, I'm sad to see it. Bayonetta 2 will probably never come.
Probably not, but who knows? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know if Nintendo's got the lock on that for a lifetime or not. And they just brought out, what was it, Vanquish, which I never got to play.
Right.
Vanquish. I always wanted to play Vanquish. It looked cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's like, and I love that they're bringing these out. They're not like trying to re-release them as like, you know, full titles at $60 or something like that. It's like, yes, Sega, you're doing it right. Now release a Sega box.
Yes. Yeah. They could. They think they freaking Atari. Like, they have like 3 games. Like Sega has such a better. They have a better chance of coming out with a brand new system because they have a huge library of games that they own that they could put out on that exclusive if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's some of the other stuff? That biggest surprise was actually probably Dragon Ball Z.
I don't have that anymore.
Oh, you got rid of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, the line moved really fast. Fighting games don't take that long. But it felt like Guilty Gear BlazBlue, but with Dragon Ball. It was actually
same
all
team.
3.
So,
yeah, the same team.
Yeah.
But you could actually like crash people through buildings and fly up a little bit. But it was still 2D gameplay wise. But it was all 3D rendered. But the rendering that they're using for that, it looked like the cartoon. It is such a great job graphically for that. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just see if I can find it again. There we go.
Yeah, it was biggest surprise. And like the guy I was fighting with or whatever, like we were just, I thought I was gonna get the crap out of me, and apparently he was at the same level as me. Like, so we were just going back and forth. We get one, and then he'd get one, and then just be flying up in the air and blocking each other. It is a lot of fun. Even if you're just a fighting fan, I recommend giving this game a try. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, definitely pick this up. I'm not a fan at all, so I only pick like the 3 characters because it's kind of plays a little bit like Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So you get like 3 fighters, and you can like switch them in and out and everything. You get little abilities, and I'm always a big fan of that gameplay style. I love Marvel vs. Capcom, which we will get into here as well. Played that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. They revealed the story mode, which hopefully is good. The trailer looked cool. And it was a little bit more Marvel and stuff, but I'm glad they're trying to do something a little bit better. Maybe it's because Injustice does such a great job with the story mode, so they're trying something. So hopefully it's good. But I mean, it played and felt Marvel vs. Capcom. I wish there was that 3rd character, but it felt good. And me and Steve went at it a couple times, because again, fighting games line move fast. So, yeah, felt good. Miss Marvel was a lot of fun to play around with, and there's a couple other characters, but I whooped Steve's ass the first time. Second time, he barely won. I'll give him that. But it was cool because they had the controllers and they had other stations with the fight sticks. So you can go either.
I mean, it looks okay. It looks like another Marvel vs. Capcom,
but with a story mode.
With a story mode, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more characters in it than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more a smaller release, being that it was just Infinite and not like 4 or whatever. But
yeah,
it seems to be a lot bigger fighting game release. This is the only thing Capcom has is these fighting games now. It seems. Yeah,
it's I kind of wish they would just announce it, do a teaser, and then just release it, because there's just not much content in a fighting game for me to get excited about. And
I think it'll be out. I forget. Did they show a release date? I don't think it's that far.
Let's see. Here's Rocket. Pre-order now.
Right.
Don't really say.
I thought they did, but yeah. I mean, the booth was pretty well set up for them. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was there anything else I gave to you?
No, not really.
No. I think that covers just about everything I played. There was a couple indie games I played, nothing too spectacular. Like I said, like Ublots. There was everything else kind of seemed kind of bland.
Red says Dragon Ball Z. I want it.
Yes.
There you go.
If you want it, get it. It was a lot of fun, and I don't even like Dragon Ball Z, and I'm not even a huge fighting game fan either. So.
Yeah. So.
All right. I mean, 2 hours later.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wiped now.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I have
It's
nothing
90
bad to
degrees
say
outside.
about E3. E3 was pretty good this year.
Oh yeah, I mean I had a blast. I'm glad I went.
Yeah. I felt there was a lot, like I said, there's a choice for everybody this year. Everything that you can even see, there's a choice for Vita. So
Yeah. I mean, it was on the floor. They had a lot of like indie games. I think there was a Square Enix game, wherever they said it was coming to Vita. There was a couple they showed, but it does seem like indies have picked it up a little bit more
yeah,
than
well, it's
Sony. So.
I think probably just more because it's stupid easy to port to.
Right. I mean, it's
It
basically
takes,
the same as like the Android hardware for the most part.
it just takes like 10 seconds. So, let's see.
Oversimplification, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish off by a couple other things that surprised me. I know you don't care about this. You remember that Retro Blocks console we talked about a long time ago?
Yes.
So they went to E3 and
Yes, I saw 'em.
they showed it off. They got full funding there.
Nice.
They are now called Polymega.
Oh. Huh.
They just announced that they added. What they're saying is like the CD add-on, any CD-based games, you get that day one, no matter the controller or whatnot.
Nice.
They just announced Neo Geo CD support,
Sweet.
and it is quick. It is like that. It is nothing like the original Neo Geo CD. To me, it's cool because those CDs are still relatively cheaper compared to the original
Cartridges.
CD. Yeah, the cartridges. And to be honest, there was no protection on the Neo Geo CD, so you could just rip a game, and I don't see any way this would be able to tell. And so that is a very good way to get into this, let alone it's actually, once you get past that load barrier problem, I would actually argue they're better versions because all the music is been redone or done on a higher synth and then recorded on that. So like everything like Samurai Showdown and stuff, to be fair, like the soundtracks sound way better than they do on the Neo Geo. It was just that stupid load time was just ridiculous. So yeah, like try playing, like me and Tierney were playing Last Blade the other night. Try playing that on Sega CD. Just forget it.
Right.
It's like 5 load times before you even get into a fight.
Right.
So that was cool that they're supporting that Sega CD, PlayStation games out the gate, stuff like that. Now the modules.
Yeah, I mean, Sega CD didn't have any protection either, so.
Yes, we're not supposed to say this. Anyways, nobody watches this shit. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
So the modules now are still a thing. They've confirmed Sega, and that means Sega games, 32X games work on it.
Nice.
Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and TurboGrafx, oddly enough.
Sweet.
So they actually have a TurboGrafx module. On top of that, they're upping the horsepower of it. It is Android based. So it is emulation. It's not emulation. I need to get over this real quick. Part of the problem with emulation is a lot of these games, the hardware was tied to the speed at which the data was coming in from the cart.
Right.
Okay. So that's always been a problem with some of the timing and clocks, and it caused some logic problems in some games and stuff for enemies to spawn where they shouldn't or something like that, right? So what they're doing with this, they're doing what's called hybrid emulation, and the guys building are actually 2 guys from Insomniac that broke off and did their own thing.
Right.
So what hybrid emulation is, it's on an emulator, but it's reading in real time off the cart to solve this problem. Okay, so it's much more accurate that way. So you still have to have carts if you want to play it, so that is a thing, but if you care about that. They're also talking about, now that they have the horsepower in it, to allow indie games, for instance, I don't know if this is happening or not, but like say Shovel Knight could be downloaded onto this and played on this device.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that's really cool for retro gamers, because there's a lot of games like this that would kind of play to retro gamers and smaller games that they like, and that's a really good fit. The other cool thing I thought is, let alone all the other good stuff like HD on your TV and all that, they're going to have an app for streaming to Twitch directly off the console.
Cool.
So I was like, you know, you guys really came out and said all the right things after Coleco's
that's good.
bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Now, let's get to the last thing for today.
Okay.
Atari box. That's it. It's stupid.
Yep.
We're done.
It's done.
Yeah.
We're done. Good night.
Yep.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed, everyone.
Yep. All right. So anyways, that's however you end this thing now. Thanks guys for coming out. We'll have this up on Final Save Point very soon. Although if you're here watching it, why do you care?
Yeah.
And follow me. I'll have the links for my Twitter and all that stuff. I'll have links for Joe down below, so be sure to hit the links down there.
Yep, if you follow me, I posted a bunch of pictures of E3, and there's probably even still more to come.
Yeah, and some nudes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's not Mario's mushroom, if you know what I mean.
Give videos, yeah.
So it's pretty creative what you can do with some body paint and a certain appendage. All right.
Mario paint.
Okay. All right, so we'll see you guys later, and peace or whatever.